How to beat DuckTales Remastered. Tips from the game pros at the backlog ring. After thwarting the Beagle Boys' heist on Scrooge's money bin, choose from treasure hunts in 5 exciting high-definition levels. In the Amazon, Scrooge must collect 8 coin-shaped relics from giant treasure chests. Underground, a Jungle Book snake is guarding this one just to the left. Find more giant treasure chests to the right. Ouch! Use shorter pogo bounces to avoid the thorns and red-nosed spiders and collect an extra duck. Find one more giant treasure chest underground and another just above ground. Move westward, avoiding the buzzlebees and duck-eating plants to find this giant treasure chest out in the open. The middle vine hides a secret. Collect this one, and you should have all but one coin-shaped relic in your inventory. The vine that brought you out of the underground goes further up, to where you can find the 8th and final relic. Launchpad flies Scrooge into the temple ruins. Mrs. Beakley can be found here to ensure you don't die from a lack of ice cream or extra ducks.
Oh, thank you kindly, dear.
If you attempt to pogo when the stone guardian smashes into the floor, your pogo will fail. When the boss glows purple, watch out. Don't be touching the ground. Blocks can smash you from any side. Move your tail feathers out of the way. Continue pogoing into the boss until he's smashed apart. In Transylvania, head right on the first floor and outside into the rain. Ghosts are immune to Scrooge's powers. It sure is dark in here. If you thought all the coffins had gems inside, you might find yourself short a heart or two. Oh no! How can we free Huey from an invincible ghost? Wait, something's different about this ghost. After 3 pogo hits, this Beagle Ghost is now Beagle Toast. He drops one of 3 papers that you'll need to finish the level. Just to the left, on the 2nd floor, there's another large ghost and smaller ghosts. Could this large ghost also be different? You'll now collect the 2nd paper. What's this? This secret passage leads to an extra heart. Scrooge can now eat 1 more ice cream than he could before. Enter this magic mirror on the top floor to take a ride on Dracula Duck's personal roller coaster. Be careful, there are more ghosts than before. Pogo stomped the large ghost 3 times to discover that it was just another Beagle Boy trick. Now you should have all 3 papers. It's no surprise that Transylvania, Land of the Dead, has very few extra ducks. Find what you can before heading through this secret passage where Scrooge discovers a large magic mirror, which leads him to battle with Magica D-Spell. These may look like ordinary blocks, but you can jump through them to save yourself. When Magica laughs at you, that's your chance. Smash Magica's mirror, and you'll have another chance. Watch out for Magica's vulture form as it swoops, followed by a swift magical shot. There's only one item to collect in the mines. Find the elevator key, guarded by swoopy bats and happy slugs. After using the elevator, to the right, Mrs. Beakley has a double serving of ice cream with an extra duck on top.
You're worth your weight in gold, Mrs. Beakley.
Danger! Watch behind you. There's a boulder out to find you at 2 points in this level. Ride the mine carts deeper into the depths, where you will encounter the nefarious King of the Terra Firmians. The king will play orange notes on his horn when he calls the ceiling to come crashing down on Scrooge's head. Pogo stomp his crown when he's not rolling and dodges rolls. When he blows blue notes from his horn, a rolling stampede of Terra Firmians will plow over Scrooge if you don't pogo with the perfect timing. In the Himalayas, snow is your greatest foe. Pogo is a no-go. Evil thumpers have stolen the pieces that Launchpad needs to repair Scrooge's airplane. These mischievous critters are now hiding throughout the level. Just inside the mountain caves, find an extra heart. These are the maximum hearts on hard and extreme difficult modes, allowing Scrooge to eat up to 5 ice cream cones. The evil thumpers have hired the Mighty Ducks to put an end to Scrooge. Just past the masked bodyguard is an evil thumper with the first of 3 airplane parts. Check out this super secret tip. Once you can't walk any further to the left, hold up to climb a hidden rope. Up here are big treasures and even an extra duck. Dodge the stalactitamites. The enemy to the right is the one you want. He's got the second part that you need. Break Bubba Duck out of the ice cube. He'll smash the heavy ice blocks that are in your path. Shortly after Bubba leaves, you'll find the evil thumper with the final airplane part.
Oh, look at the ducks.
Head upward to reunite with Launchpad. After taking to the skies, Glomgold will fire bombs and Beagle Boys at Scrooge.
Turn a profit on this, McDuck.
Stop Glomgold by giving the bombs a good whack with Scrooge's cane.
Knock it off, McDuck.
Carefully run under the abominable snowman as he leaps across the screen. Dodge the ice cubes as she pounds the wall. When the lump of coal falls, swing at it to hit the giant ice cubes above. That's your chance to pogo pound his head. Be sure to jump when he charges up and slams into the ground with full force. Keep this up, and she will soon be defeated. On the moon, pieces of Gizmo Duck's suit have been stolen by aliens. Inside their spaceship, you'll find a barrier preventing you from collecting the helmet.
Blast me bagpipes.
After freeing Fenton and flipping the 3 switches, gravity will return and the barriers will disappear. Return to the previous floor to collect the helmet. The alien spaceship hides many extra ducks. Can you find them all? From atop the ship, pogo off the cute aliens and cross the electro spikes to find Gizmo Duck's wheel. In the top left of the ship, find Gizmo Duck's shirt and return to the beginning of the level. Be smart, use the chain while exiting the spaceship. Oh dear! Gizmo Duck fires away at anything in Scrooge's path. The barrier blocking the way to the green cheese of the moon is no match for the might of Gizmo Duck. Deep within the lunar subterrane, Scrooge encounters the mutant moon rat. Be careful as he leaps about the stage. After 3 hits, he will glow green with radioactivity, quickly dashing and teleporting about. Stand your ground on the platform. If he teleports to your platform, quickly hide underneath it. When the mutant moon rat returns to normal, you can pogo pound him again. Magica D-Spell has one final challenge for Scrooge at her lair in Mount Vesuvius. There are no required items to collect here, just gems and extra ducks. And be careful, there aren't many of those. Scrooge passes into the shadow world. Be ready to maneuver around boulders of darkness that will attempt to crush you. Back in the real world, Scrooge must pogo off regular boulders to reach even higher. Magica D-Spell has teamed up with Dracula Duck. Pogo off the bats he sends after you so that you can spring high enough to pogo his head. After every hit, Magica will cast one of 3 transformations on Dracula Duck. The red magic turns him into 100 bats. Find the open space for Scrooge to hide in while the wall of bats slams into the ground. The yellow magic turns Dracula Duck into Mega Dracula Duck. Stay calm and duck into the gap between his fangs as he attempts to eat you. The green magic turns Dracula Duck into a fire-breathing snake dragon. Carefully dodge the fireballs as they home in on your position and leap over the flames that linger on the ground. With Dracula Duck defeated, there's still one challenge left. Race Magica and Glomgold to the top and retrieve Scrooge's first dime before they do. There's very little room for error. That's not going to cut it, McDuck. The lava is rising. Quickly, climb the chains upward. Don't waste your time going all the way left here. Pogo from the right platform to the chain high above. When Launchpad appears in his helicopter, you've officially beaten the game. Congratulations, the world is saved. Thank you for watching How to Beat DuckTales Remastered, presented by the Backloggery. Look for more of our videotapes to learn all the best tips and tricks for beating and completing your game collection, just like the pros at the Backloggery.
I hope it works. Hi there. How's it going, everybody?
Hey, good evening.
I'm hoping everything is going to work all right.
Hopefully people hear us equally.
I would assume so.
And we've got a special guest here. It's the person who voiced the How to Beat videos.
Wouldn't that be really funny if that was true?
I can pretend. I don't remember the voice well enough. Crap.
How to Beat DuckTales Remastered.
Pro tips.
Sponsored by the Backloggery.
It's not actually.
No, it's not.
We can pretend.
We can pretend. No, we've got. I mean, it's kind of cool on this. Today is the day, 10th anniversary of My Life in Gaming, October 1st, 2013, when we launched it, and so we're celebrating 10 years, and I think it's appropriate that one of our devoted community members, Henry Clark, who is a very active mod in both stream chats and Discord community, kind of like our de facto community manager. He was traveling past this way this weekend, and he was like, hey, I can help you all with the 10th anniversary stream so that you all can both play games and have someone else to help watch the chat. And I said, that's a great idea. Come on over.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got it's cool that like in 10 years of the channel, we've got a representative of the community that is sprung up around this here in person, right here, sitting in the chair next to me. We got Henry Clark. So glad to have you here.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been great hanging out over here. Figured I'd offer to help come. You guys can run both of your original stuff from getting the stream off for 10 years today.
We did the game store rounds today. Did some shopping. Say what, Corey?
It's each of our first videos. I mean, DuckTales Remastered was your first video, was the first video, but then a week later I made the same thing with Castle Evolution HD, which I've not played since that time. So I guess we're gonna see how well it holds up. But
are our voice levels good for everyone?
Yeah, let me know if I need to make any adjustments.
Do we sound balanced to you, Corey?
What am I? What's that?
Like, do the two of us sound balanced to you?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds okay to me. I wonder if I'm like a little low, but I can probably bring myself up a little bit. Well, Try is a little bit blurry, but that's just the way it.
Correct. So the way that we're, don't have any. We actually should have done this. If it wasn't for the fact that I just changed a bunch of stuff on my computer, we could have done this where you send to me, because your game is 30 FPS, my game is 60 FPS. But because I'm sending this to you over Discord, it is going my feed, game, the cameras. It's going to be a little blurry compared to Corey, compared to usual, just because of how I am having to send this to Corey. So
yeah, okay, so I brought myself up a little bit. I just don't have enough time to screw around with it. 10 years, and we're still doing the same old crap. But
hey, you do it well. Why change?
It's every single week in, week out. It's like, does this sound all right? It's like the first thing we always say. So to celebrate, I'm gonna be drinking this Jack Daniels and Coke Zero Sugar that I saw at the liquor store yesterday. It was like a 4-pack, and it's just like already in the can. So I'm like, I'm just gonna not get this. So we'll do that.
All right.
Sounds good.
Well, shall we get going with the games and then catch up on Super Chats? I am playing, by the way, on the WiiU. This is, the same WiiU that the original episode of My Life in Gaming was recorded on. So,
and I'm playing on PS3, which would have been, it was the same one, I guess. Because I got my super slim
difficulty levels. Have I done the hardest difficulty level with this, I wonder?
Probably.
Extreme. I'm going to do extreme. Why not?
Extreme.
Live a little.
Live a little.
extreme, just like the analog pockets I didn't manage to get because I overslept this past week.
Oh, it said no progress will be saved until you beat the game.
Oh, dang.
That's all right, though.
That is extreme.
I mean, it's not like there's no like checkpoints or something.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys are getting started, I'll start. We've got a whole lot of super chats already. It's been busy day.
It's as busy as the anniversary stream, I guess. You need to throw your
Okay, first was $10 from a Justin Sizen with no message, just a jump with a bouncing #1 fan emoji right there. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Yep. Madonna Sheehy with $9.99 right afterwards. YouTube won't let me do $10 exactly, but happy anniversary, MLiG! It's all caps. I assume it's yelling. That's how it works. That's how Brooklyn Nine-Nine taught me it works.
Into the ether, really.
Here's to many more.
Thank you. Madonna Sheehy sent me like down a rabbit hole of watching some music videos this past week due to like an Instagram post.
That's always fun. One Instagram post after another, and they never end. Facebook Meta, excuse me.
Well, I mean, I started just watching them on like the Apple TV. I love the fact that Apple TV, if you have Apple Music, you can like watch like playlists of music videos. So I just found like a 90s music video and like left it on all day.
Okay. We also have $2 from Demo Kirby who said, "Wait, Henry wasn't actually Weird Al." Funny!
With a tinfoil hat.
Dang, I should have thought to raid his cabinet, probably find some tinfoil, make a hat.
I do have tinfoil.
Dang, that would have been good. I didn't think of that. Yes, my Discord icon from many years ago, because I work in IT and security, I described to somebody in another Discord long before I even found MLiG, describing some stuff, explaining something to somebody, and they like called me claimed I wore a tinfoil hat. Well, when you work in IT security, you will learn that that badge very quickly once you learn things. And so I tinfoil hat. All right. So I went for the most iconic tinfoil hat around, and that's the Weird Al album cover. So so now everybody thinks I look like Weird Al wearing No, I'm a little bit younger, much larger, and much less hair underneath the tinfoil hat.
I can relate.
I even cleaned up the shave right before the stream, right after we got done eating dinner, just so I'd match Corey. Okay.
Oh, I got to bring up this music a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to get to hear the DuckTales Remastered music.
Yeah.
On your end, which is one of my favorite soundtracks.
Okay. That show's all okay.
This right here, Mickey, in the original Cast of Illusion, that's the first edge balancing animation that I can ever remember seeing.
I'm looking at your stream here, and I didn't remember it being I didn't remember it being 2D. I mean, isn't it largely kind of 3D?
No, it's mostly 2.5D, but you do go into the background at times. There's it's not really free roaming. You can just run into the background.
Wait, what is this puzzle?
Oh, it's been so long.
Yeah, I don't. I'm getting him to get the hamburger, but what else can I do? Oh, I didn't see the button above. That should be
the symbol button.
I don't know, it just kind of blended into the background for me for some reason.
And we have another after that, Matt HM with a $9.99.
Oh.
Huge congrats on these 10 years. Your channel was insanely helpful in getting me back into retro gaming in 2017. And more recently, I was inspired to start a YouTube channel of my own. Mm-hmm. Thanks again.
Oh,
everyone should check out Matt's channel, because it is so well shot that I feel like it's really inspiring to me. He does all this stuff with portables, and he did this. I think he built a miniature set that is kind of unlike anything I've seen before, and he puts portables in it and then like shoots it like way up close, so it looks like they're like floating in this little set. It's pretty nuts. I recommend everybody check out Matt's channel.
That's really cool. Scroll through here. There's a lot to catch up on.
there is. I mean, you certainly have
got some work cut out.
Yes.
And like the next one, we have Joseph Childs with $10 saying just thanks for the awesome content.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And that sums up everything really succinctly. And because I found it's the same for me, because I found the channel 2018, 2019 when trying to figure out making Game Boy look proper on a TV. And like trying to figure out how to figure I was going to have to go with the Super Nintendo and how do we make this look good? And now here I am, like 5 years later of watching streams and videos. We have Eric with $4.99, and here's to 10 more.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It is. It's pretty crazy to think that it's been that long, especially since. And I'm sad that like my tour video, even though the preview of my tour video kind of like sums up a lot of the stuff in the last 10 years, which I think is, if nobody has seen that, I don't know. I put it on like Twitter. I put it like in a lot of different places, but it kind of goes through like my setup in the last 10 years, and it's kind of a fun. It's kind of a fun little like look back on everything, I guess. Oh, do I gotta do this again?
Too far. Okay, Tony Escobar with $19.99.
Oh wow, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy 10th. I'm so lucky to be part of such an amazing community. I discovered MLiG at the beginning of the pandemic, and watching your videos helped so much. I blame you for my CRT and PVM obsession.
Well, at least you lucked out finding some nice monitors at your workplace.
Yeah,
that's definitely a nice find. If you got it that close, get it at work. You don't have to hunt them down and spend good money. PVMs have almost hit their weight in gold. Talking about that earlier. Thanks to you guys, not only I never knew what a PVM was before. I got one because from our community and our Discord community, member was selling his. And he had, it was a 20L5, which if you go on eBay, people are asking upwards of $3,000 for them. And that's not happening. But he wanted to keep it in the community, so he offered for what he paid and offered it for $500. And he lives in Chattanooga. I'm in Orlando, so it's a little bit of a drive. But I was heading up that way already. But I would have had no qualms about heading 9-hour drive to Chattanooga to go pick it up. And that 20L5 is near mint. Like the thing looks like it. I wish there was an hour counter on it because I can't imagine that thing has had much use because it looks so good. And I haven't done any work on
boss? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, why is there no boss?
Andy Frey has been a member for 25 months with a message of
Thank you.
Happy 10th anniversary. Been a fan since I first tried to figure out how to hook up my N64 to my modern flat screen. Google led me to you. Cheers.
Dang.
Wow, that's and Siri heard me and now searching the web for hooking up N64 to an LCD. What is going on?
It's crazy because I think that when we started the channel, like we had no expectation to certainly not having been at it for as long as we have.
Yeah, we
always
people who like kind of associate us with tech stuff too.
Yeah,
you guys became the foremost name in setting up old consoles on modern displays and making them look proper. Like anytime that comes up, anybody like oh yeah, I've even if I bring them up, like I don't know who you are by name, and I've seen that. When I tell them about videos of trying to make stuff look proper on a modern display and not laggy.
Yeah,
everybody's seen your stuff, even if they don't know that they've seen you guys.
I mean, a lot of times I think like I don't think our videos are like the best at it, but I think that they are probably the most accessible to a lot of people. Like they give people like a good place to start at.
Because we're dummies too.
Yeah, it's a good entry level thing.
Well, that entry level has done a lot to make a lot of us spend way too much money, but happily to do it. But we spent way too much money on making old things look good. So, Demo Kirby. Let's try that again with $2. If only there was a video to help with DuckTales.
I mean, you know, only 11,000 people have ever found such a video online. You know, and yet we have many more subscribers than that. I bet a lot of people in this chat have not seen it, other than you did play it at the start of the stream.
Yes.
Oh, and we have before. Outside of the super chats, we have Audi apparently is in the chat right now, or at least he was. Congrats on 10 years, my friends. Hope in the next 10 years to come we can do more trash blind bags and random pickups together. Best from Audi and Vivi watching.
Thank you. I was telling Henry when we were doing visiting the local game stores. I was saying, you know, last time I was at this store was when Audi and Vivi were in town.
Which was like last summer, I guess.
Oh, not yet. Yeah, it was summer 2022. So, yeah. Yeah, some of the stores I hadn't been to in a while.
We had some great finds. There was some. A couple of the stores had or that main what was it? Retro World? Was that the name of it? Video Game World. Like some of the best selection I've seen at reasonable prices versus what currently constitute reasonable prices. I had to stop myself to spend $65 on the Saturn version of Warcraft 2. And I don't do U.S. Saturn games. I don't do.
Really? Like just period? Like it's.
Yeah, like it's just because I don't have anything set up in my collection the way I display them to have the large boxes. As I say that, I realize something I did buy this weekend is a Sega CD game, so I do have that problem now of displaying that. That'll go in its own special section for reasons.
Yeah.
But it was $65. If you go on eBay, it's nearly $100 for that game. Ooh. I really want a Japanese copy because all my other Saturn games are Japanese. Well, the cover, they were only showing spines. It was in a glass case, so I don't know. But everything at that store was relatively, usually like 80% or better of eBay. Like it's better for the buyer, 80% or less.
Yeah, that's smart. I feel like that's what they kind of got to do now.
Yeah, well, I live in Orlando, and Orlando, everybody's asking eBay and eBay Plus, unfortunately. And I get it. Brick and mortar is expensive, especially in Orlando. I can't imagine what some of these places are paying for rent. And they have overhead of employees and stuff. But it still doesn't make it any easier to open up my wallet for overpriced. Because I did find one of the very few games I'm specifically looking for. We found it at one of the stores tend to have higher prices, and they had the game I wanted, but at too high of a price. One of the few things I want is a complete, really mint copy of Oracle of Seasons, because I have a really nice Oracle of Ages already, and I want to pair them up. And they're asking $220 for it, which there's a place in Orlando that had one recently and asking that too. I was just like, I was prepared to maybe go $150, but not $220. Whew, that was steep. I thought about it, but I just can't justify it. I've spent too much just in the last week alone between travel and hotel rooms and food and.
Were you traveling for an event or was it work related?
No, just for personal. I went to go see a concert in Nashville with my friend Lynn. I think she's probably in the chat. Not the Lynn that's usually around here.
Yeah.
And she lives closer to Nashville, and I live. It's a little bit of a drive for me, but I like driving. So I came up, got us tickets to a concert, wanted to see, and hung out for a couple days in Nashville, and then drove over here. Hung out since got here last night, and heading back down to Florida tomorrow.
That's cool. Is that the thing? Like the band that you had mentioned? like a while ago, like when we were talking,
No.
when you're helping me with some like about how my computer is like, or my IP address is like for some reason banned by GameStop. For some
Your
yeah.
IP address is banned by GameStop?
I mean, basically, right? I mean, that's like the best we could figure out is my
You could
IP.
figure out,
like,
yeah. He had. There is something like I've spent some time working within Corey's network to check. Nothing's wrong on his side. There is something funky where whatever GameStop or the equivalent, the content distribution network that they use, I believe they use Akamai, is for some reason is not allowing connection from Corey's IP address. It's fine when he connects on all the computers on his local LAN. If he connects to a hotspot with those same computers, it's fine. I made sure it wasn't a DNS problem, because anybody who works in IT knows if there's a problem, it's always DNS. There's literally a haiku written about that, and that's not a joke. But yes, Corey's home IP address has been banned by GameStop. Apparently, he's been he's been playing nasty tricks on them, and now they don't want him as a customer.
Yeah. I can access it from my phone if I like go off my network, though.
Yeah, as long as you're going from your cellular, or like I said, use it as a hotspot.
Thankfully, I don't use that website more than like. I mean, I don't think I bought anything off that website in like over 2 years, probably.
I think the last time I did is when they screwed up. It was middle of the night, and I happened to catch it. They were selling Animal Crossing for Switch for $10 each.
Oh, did you
It work?
Yeah. I ordered 3 copies, sold 2 to friends, so it was 3 maximum. So I got 3 copies of Animal Crossing for Switch. This was about 2 years ago. Got 3 copies for $30.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah. But no, this is not the same band. This was it's actually one of the bands that's like really friendly with them. I'm not really close with this band though, but I wanted to see they're putting on. It's it's kind of punk rock, emo, that stuff. But they did it with an orchestra, so it was a rock show, and they were playing it with an actual orchestra.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
I love crossovers and mashups like that.
Yeah.
So to see it live was a really cool thing. It was Hawthorne Heights, if anybody's familiar with them.
Oh yeah, they were. No, they weren't. They're the MTV. Were they the making the band on there? Is that who they were? What they were on?
No, like that does no nothing.
Or am I
about
getting that?
Is
Or is that Flicker Stick? It was making
that
the
name.
band. I thought Hawthorne Heights was like that.
No, they were just a bunch of guys that were friends as kids from Ohio. So
okay.
Yeah, so that doesn't. I know the band well enough. Like if there would have been some story about that, I would have been familiar with it. So no. But no, went and saw that. That was a lot. That was a lot of fun, and made for a fun weekend. Left home on Thursday. Luckily, my job I can kind of work mobile, work from the road a lot of the time, so makes traveling on occasion a little bit easier.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I gotta travel for work next week for like 3 days. I'm going to Corpus Christi, Texas. I've never been to Texas before.
Oh wow!
I'm going on a week from Tuesday, and I'm there until Thursday.
Nice. I kind of miss traveling for work. Like I used to occasionally do it. It's been this job I don't get to travel for work. Just because I don't go to many places too often. Lately, I've done a little more. I'd love somebody to pay me just to send me to places, and I could just mess around in my off time and go, video game shopping or sightseeing or other touristy crap, just to get out of. I like any chance to get out of the mundanity of Florida. We got a $2 with a Nima Moshiri, I believe. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Congratulations on the 10-year anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's funny just to think about. Like I've been doing the channel longer than my son. My son has been alive.
Yeah.
Not my daughter though. My daughter. I mean, because like these 2 weeks here, of like September and then today, it's like pretty packed. I had like it was my wife's birthday 2 weeks ago, and then last Wednesday was my 15-year wedding anniversary.
Oh,
and
wow.
then and then this today. Like it's just crazy to think like how all this stuff like happened at once. Honestly, like but it's 15 years of being married. But we started the channel 5 years after getting married.
So you've been doing the channel by far for most of your marriage.
Yes.
Hasn't ruined anything, I guess.
I mean, not that anybody would ever hear about. Honestly, like I mean,
we're not gonna
I'm
know
sure
about
that
the
my
night
wife,
sleeping on the
my wife
couch.
is like, has been incredibly patient, like when it comes to like anything related to the channel. Like I can't like. I think that if I was like married to anybody else, like it probably would have.
It would have been done a long time ago.
It would have probably been done. With the amount of like,
I'd be on my own.
Probably, but I mean, you always said like I don't even know if like without having another person, like if you would have been able to like stick with it.
Yeah. No. Game over. We're gonna find out if this continues in extreme.
And my wife did design the channel logo.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that.
Oh no! I guess there are no continues.
Oh, no continues.
I guess that's why it's.
All right, we're just gonna play on. Oh. Wait. Let's.
Shout out Green Thumb says, shout out to patient wives. It's true. I mean, she has been like so patient. Like everything, like
I'll do
the amount of time a lot of stuff is taken.
All right. We have $20 from Chet.
Holy
Bowl.
mackerel!
Oh wow!
Whoa! Thank you.
Rewatched the RGB series so many times. Congrats on the 00001010 years. Binary. Gotta love it. Gotta love my fellow nerds.
Oh my gosh.
And Dingus Glurt with $1.99. Remember to always fall fancy.
Fall fancy. Actually, I'm going to exit out. I'm going to see if the quick cinematics.
In Buffalo, there was always a thing called Dingus Day.
Dingus Day?
Yeah.
Before I get back down I'm going through the regular chat too for anything. Shadow Mask wants to know that he blames you for spending his stimulus check. No regrets on buying a bunch of Saturn games in 2019, he says as well. Yeah, I was talking about Saturn. I want, because I don't buy the US Saturn games, one, I don't, they're as a normal, they're more expensive than the Japanese ones. And other than like the one Sega CD game I bought this weekend, I don't have any. But I don't like the fragile cases, give me kind of heart palpitations, because I'm like, if I got to spend that much money because of this case, and I know you can replace them for like $8 each in bulk, because you can buy them from Amazon.
But it's not exactly like that,
they're not. Okay, I don't want to risk it. Like I don't buy the US Saturn games. I've got a Japanese Saturn anyway, and yeah, I want a Japanese Warcraft 2 for Saturn so bad. I love the way it looks, but yeah, anybody should go look on eBay how much that goes for, and try not to have a coronary. We have $10 from Mega X6.
Ooh, thank you.
Congratulations on 10 years. I discovered MLiG through Happy Console Gamers Fantasy Star video.
Oh, that's so cool. Like that, I think that's real exciting. Like looking back.
And now it's part of my Sunday. Love the streams. Keep up the great work.
Didn't you and him play that video like after we met him in person at Too Many Games?
No. I mean, it was no. This was like right before I moved. I feel like this was 2019. Maybe it was 2018. Now that I think about it. But no, I mean it was before I think the series video that I had done on it.
Oh, okay.
Kim Justice just did a great Phantasy Star video. If anybody has not seen that yet.
Let me see. Trying to jump back into the end of chat at the same time as watching this. It's a lot going on. This is the busiest chat night that I've seen in here. You got, and that includes the night with the the Mario stream, Mario 64 on PC stream.
Yeah.
I think that was your busiest stream potentially ever. Although maybe the RetroTink 4K, I sadly missed that stream.
Oh,
I was very busy that night.
Too, yeah.
And that was
the
the first
person right now, at least.
Yeah, like I know you guys hit 1,000 on that Mario stream. I remember that.
Yeah, that's the only time I ever hit 1,000.
Yeah, that was a busy night. That was
Mario 3 stream that Corey did.
That's one of the actually first streams. I didn't initially watch the streams from the beginning of finding the channel. One of the Mario 3 stream is what like made me like, all right, I gotta watch this every time now. Like that stream was so like I hilarious, but it seems mean to say because of Corey's frustration. But I love like it was at the same time it was just great all the way around.
Yeah, it was...
I mean that is very much what
oh, I see.
What people tend to watch backloggery streams for is, failure.
Yeah. The phrase of the night was, "Oh come on."
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
that stream I probably peaked on streams here or there before that, but that stream was where I like really started watching. And I was still had to be up super early in the morning back then, so that stream going to like 3 o'clock or whatever really messed me up.
It's not that hard to do right now.
Luca with $10 for 10 years. Congrats guys, and Corey, go Bills!
Oh, did they win today? The Bengals lost big time today.
I'm the wrong person to ask about the sports balls.
Yeah. I don't know if Seabass Knapp is here today, but Seabass Knapp, if you are here, I'm going to the FC Cincinnati game on Wednesday. Be excited about that, I'm sure. Get another T-shirt.
So Joshua Helmicke, member for 47 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a long-time YouTube membership through there. Started watching around 2015. The RGB 100 episode was basically the first I watched and was a game changer for me. Here's to 10 years. And then the Corey Popeye face.
The Popeye face. If anybody wants to hear me talk about like the early days of the channel, I was just on this podcast. I'm not sure if it's released yet, but it should be out like the next day or two. I'm guessing it's going to be out on the Max Frequency podcast, which Troy was on.
I was on like a month ago, maybe.
Right. Yes, and I mean, I talked to like a lot about like the early days of the channel and stuff on there. I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun. It was very fun being on, but it was.
Yeah.
It was one of those days where I just like talked and talked and talked. Like, it doesn't always happen, but it was. It was one of those times.
So talking about the early days, I know Madonna She earlier was asking about wanting to hear some MLiG origin stories. So there you go. There's I mean, there's a whole bunch of them in there. They just kind of recounts, like starting the channel and then also like where I was in my life and, just like how things have changed over the years, I guess. All right. Dramata with $10. Congrats on 10 years. Many years ago, I just wanted to watch videos talking about classic consoles, and now I have a Tink 5K, a 32-inch HD CRT in my garage. Also, tries LG C1/C2 video was very useful.
I still think it's incredible. We went to the limited. In fact, that was the first time. Well, you and Corey had met in person before the limited run.
Yeah, I bought. Or did I buy them or did you just give them to me? Like those Game Fan magazines.
You bought them. I gave. Yeah, you did buy them. I gave like a pretty decent discount on my doubles of my Game Fan collection. I've tried to complete a Game Fan collection. I'm missing only a handful, but 2 of the ones I'm missing are stupidly expensive. One of them I actually got into a bidding war with one of our other chat frequents in here, Christian Waters. Turns out it was one for the rarest issue. He one day in chat he goes, "You'll never believe what I bought this week," and I go, "Was it the E3 issue of Game Fan?" He goes, "Yeah, how'd you know?" Like I was the guy bidding against you. He won. Yeah, he had a much. it turned out when I talked to him, he had a much bigger budget for it than I did. And just to give you an idea, I stopped bidding at $600.
Oh my god!
I was like, okay, I'm out.
I mean, that is like way too. That's a lot.
Yeah. That's when I gave. I wanted it, and I had set aside. Like I had like, all right, this is the only chance I'm ever going to have at this issue. I'm going to put it on my PayPal 0% and pay it off over 6 months. So I'll go like $500. So I went after shipping and everything. When my bid was close to 600, and it was from Europe, and I just like I eventually I had to give up. And I don't know if Christian's in here today or not, but we've always gone back and forth on game fan issues. Saved me from a very pricey thing I shouldn't do, but I still kind of am quite jealous.
But I was saying about I thought of talking about he said that the CM1 video was quite useful. When we were at the limited run store opening event, like that was less than a week after, I think it was less than a week or right about a week after that LG C1, C2 video released. And it was kind of just mind blowing to me how many people stopped me while we were going around shooting B-roll. How many people stopped me saying like I bought an LG C1 this week because of your video. Like at least 10 people in like one event, like less than a week after the video had been out. Like that just kind of that just blew my mind and stuck with me as like
LG needed to be paying you. Jeez.
Just wow. Well, no, because I
guess their
C2. Although I think possibly a lot of the issues have been fixed.
Yeah, I've heard they are, but I haven't.
And like 1440p is going to be less and less. Like 4:3 resolution is going to be less and less important going forward, especially if people like upgrade to Retrode 4K. It's not going to be that important. Because
I run my 5X at 2560 by 1440 anyway. So.
Oh yeah. Although you get more. Isn't there more sort of horizontal precision if you do the 1920 version?
I don't know the answer.
I think Mister might. I'm not sure if that applies to both Retrode and Mister or.
I don't think my Mister will output 2560, only 1920.
Really?
Yeah. When I've looked at it, I don't
for a 2560, but it's like a weird workaround.
There's limitations.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's not readily apparent. I've never looked for a workaround. But as I was talking earlier, I was talking to Try about it. My Mister, it doesn't bother me because my Mister gets run into the. I run an analog into the 5X, and then so I can do that nice HDR injection, as well as scan lines. And I know you can get great scan line filters out of the Mister, but the interface is much more convoluted than doing it through the 5X. So I was like, yes, I'm taking a slight degradation by going analog out and then redigitizing it, but it works and it's simple. And
I can only really do it on the Mister if I'm using the presets.
Yeah, and I don't like any of the presets as much as the 5X's presets. So plus I have weird stuff. The Mister does a lot of. There's something it does that messes with CEC over HDMI, and I rely on CEC.
Oh, it messes with the KEC.
It messes with the KEC, and I don't want something messing with my KEC. So I don't like hooking the Mister up over HDMI to my main setup. So I run it analog into the 5X and let the 5X scale everything to 2560 by 1440, and chomping at the bit, waiting on my chance to buy a 4K. I know a while back I offered Mike Chi right before he was about to start shipping all of them out. I'm like, I'll pay you full price, whatever you're asking, if you can just send me one of the beta units and I'll upgrade as we go along. He wouldn't go for it, sadly. I'm staring across the room at it right now. Like, my precious.
I mean, you can barely tell, but like I am using Nearest Neighbor 2X. I mean, you can't tell on the streams because I'm not even feeding the Retrode output to the stream anyway. And besides, it's going through Discord and then to Corey. So yeah, it's not exactly a good representation of that's not being represented at all. But even for me and Henry in this room, we're talking 1080p nearest neighbor. We're sitting like 8 feet back.
Yeah.
Like you aren't going to be able to tell.
I played through this game on a very similar OLED myself.
Jeez,
and mind you, it's not the same thing when it's not side by side. I can't tell a difference. But we're doing 1080p with no kind of effect.
The only thing is the HDR injection, which lets me do black frame insertion with no
just gotta get some patience here.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, I love my HDR injection. I can't wait to do that. So,
and you'll be able to do it with 1080p or HDMI sources.
That's what I mean, because I'm so ready to run the Switch into it. That's why I wanted it more than anything. I want it for the Switch. That's why I want the 4K. And I know that sounds silly, but that's why I want one of the things I want it so badly.
It's by far the system I've tested the most with it. So.
And then to play with the decimation factors and all that. Getting some Vampire Survivor looking crispy 240p upscaled to 4K. No.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors. I did test it. The Retrode 4K cannot save Vampire Survivors. I have tested this.
Nothing can save that game's appearance, but dang, is it addictive.
Yep.
I mean, like Corey says, like the ugliness is kind of part of the appeal. I guess it was this past week. Corey streamed it, and I did end up grabbing it.
Join us.
Yeah. You can try it on Game Pass if you have it.
Yep, that's where I played it on Game Pass first, and then I have to have this on Switch.
Yeah, I tried it there, and I was like, okay, this is so stupid. But every time I finish a round, like I'm immediately like, I told you that again.
I told you you can't properly. It can't be explained.
Yeah.
There's the best review when I was looking at it. I think it was on the iOS store, the iOS version. Which, by the way, the mobile versions are free, and I don't. They might have ads now, but it's mostly non-intrusive. And there's no microtransactions, any of that. So on Android and iOS, and because it's effectively no button game. It's just directionals. It plays really well on a touchscreen, and so you have a free option to play it there for almost anybody because it's on both mobile platforms. One of the reviews on iOS, it just said dopamine simulator, and that's all this is. It's because as you talked about last week, the developer is like a gambling machine developer, so like slot machine type things, if I remember correctly. So it's clear that comes through that addiction, but luckily this is just.
Listen to that WiiU rumble. Did you hear that?
Where are we?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we have quite a few.
You see how we get so far behind?
I see.
You see, it's tough.
Shinjon, $10. Huge congrats, fellas.
Thank you.
I've known Shinjon longer than I've known anybody here.
We were talking about that earlier. Was it from the Game Fan forums? I forget the name.
Well, yeah. So it's kind of a long, spread out story, but I know him from the forum on the nextlevel.com, which
wasn't that basically the Game Fan forum?
Popular because of the shutting down of the Game Go forums, which was the spin-off of Game Fan that lasted one issue, well, technically like 2 issues because one of them's a PDF. But
I've got that issue, but not
I knew him from that, so he was posting on there, and that Game Go, the people that went there were people that were in the GF Tavern, on IRC, and which is that was the first game community that I got involved in, all the way back in probably 1998, I guess.
Wow. Yeah, I missed those. For the longest time, I was like, there's no good gaming communities like that anymore. and that's actually what led me to like join your guys' Discord. And I was like, okay, these guys are good. We have a Discord, like it's a Patreon Discord, and like perfect, because the even just that $1 a month minimum, just that keeps out the trolls and griefers, and it's, guys cultivated an absolute amazing community, and that's why I stuck around there. I've been in there since like 2019 or something, and like it's a great community, and everybody should join up.
Thank you.
Joshua Eichert with $10. Happy 10th. Discovered the channel back in 2017 when I got into retro gaming. All your videos have been a big help with setting up all my consoles over the years. Here's to 10 more.
Thank you. I believe it said that was before it was saying it was Joshua's first super chat.
Oh, yep. Joshua Eichert's. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But Joshua's
he's a regular
in the Discord as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will go back when we get through these to check a little more thorough on the ones, anything from Streamlabs. So I apologize if you've done through there. It's a lot to watch both, and I will get to those. So apologize if anybody's through there. Also, where did it go? Something Audi wanted to try to know that he influenced. You had an influence on him at 2 a.m. purchase on Amazon. He bought Martian Panic.
I did,
which was directly only because of me.
Did you talk to Audie about this?
No, but like I ordered it. Remember during the stream, it's like, oh, it's only $10 plus you get like the free.
But you didn't get. Did it actually not come with a gun, or
no? It was separate, but I had to go to the store and pick up the gun. So I went to the store just to pick up that dumb gun.
So you did go and get it.
I wasn't gonna let that slip through the cracks, but it's dumb because I ordered them both and I must have not set the gun to be like shipping. So like only the gun, the stupid gun thing was for in-store pickup. So I had to go and just buy that gun, or just pick up the gun. I had to go to the in-store pickup and be like, here's my order number, and she comes forward with this stupid gun.
Toy gun. You're like, oh, yeah, it's a gift. Totally.
It's for the kid. You should play that if you finish with Castle.
I'll play the. I'm gonna play the PS3 Sega Ages version, which is like you can only get it by pre-ordering this game.
Oh.
It says it's in the XMB. It says promotional only. You seem to have my gun here. Yeah. It's so dumb. It is so dumb that like is what really happened, but it did. That was the reality of the situation.
That was the reality.
We had Julian Willowsby with $9.99. You guys helped me rediscover my love for video games. Cheers to 10 years. I just moved back home to Charlotte. Other than Video Game World, what are your favorite spots in town?
Oh, well, I mean, there's like 4 Video Game Worlds in the area. But, there's also the Grid, which is a good one. The Grid was kind of weird today because, like, their Xbox 360 shelf was just like
half of it was missing.
Half was literally missing because it was like, and like that's one of my favorite things to get there because they seem to always have a good selection of like original Xbox and Xbox 360.
The frame rate here is like super bad.
And they just for some reason like after it was alphabetized and after M was just like gone.
Yeah, the N, like midway through N, they just literally, there was a giant empty shelf space of like 3 rows and there were no games. Like somebody just came and literally removed them all. Just like there was one common game I was looking for at every stop today, and they definitely didn't have it because I was looking for the 360 orange box, and there was no O.
Oh, is that where you bought Portal?
That's where I bought Portal 2. Because I decided, like, I saw Portal 2 for a good price.
Right, but my point is, like, that's an Xbox 360p.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, you're right.
So they had that, but, like, I don't know. Like, they just seemed like they were.
It wasn't in the right place. I didn't know it was sitting in a weird spot beside up high.
Though, right?
Yeah, so they moved some later titles, I guess.
I just don't know what it was. Like, it seemed like they were just like picked over and missing things that they normally had before. But the grid is usually really good, and it's also just an interesting place. Like, if you want to like grab some old speakers or an old AV receiver or something like,
or my favorite thing is just looking through old wires.
Yeah, they can be pretty interesting.
The grid was so awesome. Is what I like. Like, I like Video Game World better, or whatever it was, for gaming. But overall, that place was just so. There was this awesome tech. There was the biggest sound bar I've ever seen in my life. When I say big, not just wide, it was extremely deep.
Yeah.
It was heavy as crap, and I dropped it on my foot, which is now swollen. I dropped it, and it hit my foot before the ground, so hopefully didn't do any damage. But it was, when I'm trying to pull it off the shelf to look at inputs, turns out it was just a passive sound bar. So it had two separate line inputs, so I guess it was 2-channel. But yeah, it fell. This thing was probably 45 pounds, and it fell onto my left foot, which is now swollen and sore. Yeah, that was fun.
We also went to Gamers Alley, which I hadn't been since going with Audie at some point. I got Star Ocean First Departure on PSP there. Although I kind of regret it later because I saw the same game for like $7 less in Video Game World later. That's actually the thing. Like, you should probably start your if you're going out for the day and doing some game shopping, you should probably start Video Game World because their prices tend to be Video Game World and the Grid. The Grid usually has good prices. They usually have the best prices. Gamers Alley usually not as good at prices, but you can be surprised there sometimes. Like that was where I got a pretty darn good deal on Metal Storm a while back there.
Dang. Jack and Coke. Like, what are you drinking? I'm drinking a. It's like a Jack and a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar can. So it's like,
and it required no effort to make both of those things together on your part.
And it's doing a little number on me, I gotta admit. I'm only like halfway done with it.
I'm just getting through the chat and with super chats. I'm trying to look at the end and the middle, so I'm just seeing comments to back the stuff that happened a long time ago. Yeah. I just went Robert Hernandez. Yes, it's always DNS. As I said back then, it's always DNS. Sean Quinn, $49.99.
Oh,
Sean,
congrats, Sean! Yes. Thank you, Sean.
Awesome. Congrats on 10 years. I remember when my son and I used to watch the stream together on Sunday nights, and now he's in college. I'm actually dropping him off now because he came home for the weekend. A lot can change in 10 years. Here's to 10 more.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Thank you so much, Sean. You've been like such a long time, like, supporter and just just so nice to like talk to you all the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Aerial Aces with $10. Oh. Hey, happy Sunday. Super huge congrats on a colorful 10 years. We're going to do some amazing things going into the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Hey Arya, I'm doing my stream. Do you want to? What's going on?
I see, like, as I'm going over their other comments, so I'm so far behind on those as well. So I apologize. I saw, I guess I was talking about Hawthorne Heights, Dingus Alert, mentioning Nikki FM. Yeah, that was what they opened with, which is actually my favorite track. That was they played that with a full orchestra, so that was special.
I'll bring it a little bit, or I'll plug them in later. Okay.
We have Dad1153 with a $10 donation.
You.
Favorite Christmas gaming memory? in Christmas '83, as a 10-year-old who didn't know video games existed, my divorced from mom father sent me an Atari 2600 with more than 10 games that appeared under the tree. Best Christmas ever.
You know, someone got that for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know if you had mentioned it. Sorry, I was talking to my daughter. Like we are definitely like Aerial Aces like helping us like actually like do some real merch.
Oh, that's right. I talked to them as well, because it was a side project I was doing unrelated to all of this, trying to maybe potentially get some VHS tape slip covers made.
Yes, exactly. And also, I mean, I just got to get these VHS tapes out of here, and I think that it would be, I like all that space that I would get back. That sounds real nice.
You would immediately fill it.
Yeah, I know that Scott Snyder was saying like, oh, you know, I would definitely buy How to Beat Volume 1 and 2, and I think you can probably count on that. And you know, like we're kind of running with the random episode. It's on tapes.
Yeah.
Did you do a previous run of those? Have there been a previous?
Of the How to Beat?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought I saw one on Try's shelf. I thought I saw a How to Beat tape.
I made like years ago. Like that was like 2016 maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2015. Now that I think about it. Yeah, we made 50 of them.
Okay. Yeah, that was before. Like I said, it was 2018 before I had really found the channel, when I was hunting for some Game Boy stuff. Robert Carlson, Corey's fake grandfather.
What do you mean fake?
Yeah. Like literally my grandfather.
Yes. On behalf of everyone who has ever dismayed upon first trying to play Chrono Cross over composite on an LCD TV, thanks for 10 years of dependable, easy to understand explanations and advice. Congrats.
Thank you.
And thank people like Mike Chi for making that possible.
Yeah. But I mean,
you guys have had a serious hand in helping enlighten others to the existence of those devices and their capabilities.
And also like complaining about that these problems exist.
Mm-hmm. Over and over and over again. And now we have to test it on every single thing that comes out. And sometimes it just sounds like we're just lifting sentences from like other videos and putting them into new videos constantly.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not letting them know of the issues, you can't do it. You can't resolve them before other people see them.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why I feel like on Sundays when I'm trying to help you guys like get the audio right, and I feel like, man, I feel like sometimes I promise I'm not just here complaining when I say, hey, you're high or you're low. Like I'm trying to help. But at the same time, I feel like it's like, man, why does he keep complaining about the audio?
I mean, it's valid. We don't want people to be putting up with something that we can fix.
Yeah. And we have it'd be Jite82, I believe. If I got that wrong, I apologize. With $5, learned about the show through Joe Redifer and his extremely inaccurate but hilarious impression of Try. Oh,
that's
those are great. The skits are
yeah.
Especially, I love the one where he like robs you guys. Was it?
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
when it was like at my old house.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to we're next summer. Like my family is going camping, going to Yellowstone, and I think we're gonna go to we're gonna fly out to Denver and then go to Yellowstone from there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm thinking like, oh, I wonder if I should let Joe know so that I can stop by and steal his Musha. Because it's like a, you know, everybody that ever, goes to his house, steals his Musha, or at least gets a photo of them stealing. Musha.
You got to bring in a ski mask.
Oh shoot! Yes.
But you know what? Do it with a ski mask. Cut it out so they can see that it's your bald head. And then have him film like you stealing it, but it's clearly, and you've got like an MLiG shirt on, an MLiG shirt, and your bald head showing through a ski mask.
It would be funny if we could work out something where I break in and steal Brittany dance beat back.
I mean, you gotta do both.
You know what? I saw a Brittany's dance beat today, and
you didn't buy it.
No, I didn't. God, no. I think I saw it on Game Boy Advance. So, like, I know I saw it on such a weird platform for it, and I immediately thought of you when I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad.
I got the what's it called, Road Rash Jailbreak. That's like the cool one on GBA, right? Like the kind of really like.
I mean, I would have a hard time calling it cool.
It's not a cool decision.
It's kind of cool.
I mean, I guess.
But it was really cheap, and I was like, well, it's an interesting game.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to call it interesting, even, but I mean,
it's got really cool 3D graphics. It's more like 3D than you normally see on GBA.
I wonder when that'll be out for people. That Road Rash video. Come on, that's not what I did. Oh, I gotta go this way. Jeez.
And Tender Brew with $50.
Whoa! Thank you.
Jeez.
Thank you. Yes. 10 years? Holy smokes! I've seen every video on the channel multiple times. You've done a fantastic job, and I look forward to each new video. Here's to 10 more. Love those marathons, and I can't wait for the new game room videos. And I love the preview.
I guess then that means you're definitely one of the 11,000 people who have watched the DuckTales Remastered video.
Yep. Definitely count them in that group.
Did
20? Go on.
Really quick, did you see the one from Blade Blur, or you say something about like the Streamlabs was?
Oh, but the way that the Streamlabs is set up here, I'm having it's flooded with the YouTube ones. So I'm having trouble seeing the super chat.
Yeah, you have to cross check, unfortunately.
Yeah, because they're.
Oh, are you like looking on the YouTube? Like
no, I'm at the Streamlabs screen, but the Streamlabs also shows the YouTube ones.
Right.
Both. So trying to, I guess. Let's see here. Like I've been checking every time.
Either way, like I can, like there's one from Blade Blur that I wanted to read real quick.
Okay.
From because 26 minutes. Hopefully Blade Blur's still here. It says it feels like RGB 101 was just yesterday. Thanks again for all your hard work throughout the years. And here's to more Karnov and SCART knables.
SCART knables.
Thank you.
Yeah, I should. Let's see here.
It's okay. I mean, I just saw that one. It was like it's at the very bottom of the screen. So, geez, what is like going on here? I'm like falling apart. It's just patience.
You should have watched your own video to learn how to play the game before the stream.
Yeah.
Really, I actually don't see that. I didn't even see that when I'm scrolling through the Streamlabs chat, the Streamlabs log over here. Weirdly. Super chat. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's okay. I see it. It's the first time I've ever used Streamlabs, so I didn't know the visual cues of which ones are Streamlabs and which one's YouTube, but I see now. Okay.
Yeah. It's just so what I usually do.
Donald's chili pepper.
I mean,
so you know,
it's not as chaotic. I mean, tonight it's a little more chaotic than usual since people are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the channel. But like I usually just like check the stream items view every now and then to just double check.
Well, that's why every time I did, it's swamped with the YouTube ones because they mixed in.
Yeah, it's a lot more than you thought.
Yep. And all of that is, I'm sure, greatly appreciated.
Yes.
Everybody's been very, very, very kind. where in that?
All that milk.
Gaming Nostalgist with $20.
Oh,
Thank you.
Jeez.
Evening, guys, and happy 10 years. I started watching around RGB 104 and was so enamored by it. I ended up finding a PVM for $10 locally after watching it a PHM 28U.
Wow.
However, I didn't know it was 480p and 1080i initially. Like M8U, I wasn't even familiar with that, but I guess obviously a more powerful version of the M4U that does 480p and 1080i. I guess similar to the 20L5.
Wow. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was like that when like I got my 20L5. Like I got it for free, and I didn't realize it was nearly as capable as it was. And then it was just a very kind of a pleasant surprise that they happened. Kind of surreal. Oh, there we go. It's still amazing in retrospect that that's what happened.
Yeah. Like I said, I was ecstatic to get the one I got at $500, which the average person, I spent $500 on something that looks like the old TV you used to give away. But, I was happy to do that. Also, I knew worst case scenario, I'm obviously parking that money. If I ever needed that, it would come back out. But I was happy to get it from somebody that was already in the community who wanted to keep it in the community. They've only gotten more ridiculous since then. But we were talking about tonight. It's Tri and I were talking about before the stream. It's getting tough to almost to need them for most things, because things like they look so good with the 5X, and I can't wait to see what stuff's going to look like, retro stuff on the 4K. Like, it's getting tough. My 20L5 doesn't get as much use anymore. Like, things look so good on my 5X on the OLED with a quality flat panel like an OLED. It's
yeah. I mean, and OLEDs are less susceptible to like ambient light in terms of like affecting the black levels.
Yeah. Well, that's only on standard OLEDs, by the way. QD OLEDs, those are actually pretty heavily impacted by room light. Yeah, that's one of the complaints about QD OLEDs. If there's a light source hitting the TV, it immediately goes gray.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that wouldn't work for me.
You need a better light control with QDs.
Normally, like these lights would be off, and that would be the only light on, but that would still be just a
yeah. You definitely need a better light control with QD OLEDs. I still have I do like the standard OLED.
Super Jets are going nuts.
Wait, I'm scrolling through more Vampire Survivor chat because that game is too addictive. Xeno's Paradox, $10. Started the stream a little late, sorry, but I wanted to let Corey know that Corpus Christi is the home of Whataburger. I feel like Joe from GameTech has tweeted about them before. Hello, from
Chris from Displaced Gamer says, if you're going there, you got to go. You have to like stop at Whataburger.
I was talking to Tri about that earlier because we have we used to have them in Orlando, and there's still some near Jacksonville. And when I go, like, the burgers are okay. What I found there, like, the best thing is their chicken and gravy. Yeah, about the fattest thing you can order, buying fried chicken, and you think, you know what this fried chicken needs? Gravy to dip it in. Yeah. But their chicken strips dipped in their gravy is really good, like better than their burgers, I would say, because their burgers are okay.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it.
Yeah, like, we're gonna order something as bad as fried chicken. Let's dip it in a gravy. I mean, it's good though.
Yeah. I mean, how could that not be good?
Exactly.
I mean, just because it's good doesn't mean it's good for you.
Oh yeah. I've been road tripping since Thursday. I've had nothing this good for me, and I'm going to be paying for this. Like, I go back to the gym on Tuesday, and going back to living off meal prep stir fry and stuff like that. Oh my god, my body it's going to take me a while to get back into.
Yeah.
Robert Hernandez with $20. Before I discovered MLiG, my interest in retro gaming had disappeared. Now I have 11 retro consoles, 4 minis, all the retro goodness, and countless console mods. Not to say it's your fault, but thanks for everything.
That's so wild.
There are many of us here that are much poorer because of you guys.
but your life is richer.
Oh, of course.
Maybe.
It's a lot more sharp, that's for sure. My pixels are much sharper.
Yeah. You have found things to, like, things that you maybe wouldn't have even noticed be a problem before, and now you're like, oh, well, this is a problem. I can't accept this anymore.
I always saw these problems, but I had no idea what to do, what could be done, and I just, I was like, all right, we're just playing on CRTs, and like before you guys, I'd never seen a SCART port being in the United States, so I didn't know anything about RGB SCART.
I only knew about, like, the thing is, like, before all this stuff, like at the college TV station I worked at, like I was so adjacent to this stuff because, like, I knew about SCART because we had these editing machines that had SCART, but we used S video with them. But
Jeez, I'm like not paying attention here. Not taking my time.
Well, like, we used S video with it, but we used like a SCART to S video adapter. So I knew about SCART, and I knew, like, I saw PVMs, but I didn't understand. Like, for one, the one PVM that was at the station, like, it was broke anyway.
I have to continue here.
And beyond that, like, I didn't know that people played video games on them. I didn't know there was an advantage. I didn't know that the consoles could output that signal, because I was like preaching the good word of S video for so long. I'm like, you should use S video on Super Nintendo. It's the best you can get out of the system.
For the longest time, I actually, because I was hunting down trying to find an OEM S video cable for my Super Nintendo because of trying to make it, and specifically Game Boy, look good on my TV. And I knew all the third-party ones were garbage. They usually have composite, just with an S video connector on the end.
Or there's a lot of composite noise in signal.
And then I found your video and, like, what's this RGB stuff? And here I am with a lot lighter wallet.
When
and at Try's house.
Yeah, literally, here I am in the mecca of RGB of 2023.
Getting a setup tour preview.
Oh, and boy, what a complex setup it is. It's rare for me to go to anybody's house and have anything more complex than what I have as a setup. But let me say, it's the only place I've ever seen that is a more complex setup than my own. Most people look at my setup and like, what is going on? What is all this? I'm like, this ain't nothing. And now I can really tell them this is what something is.
For better or worse. I mean,
yeah, for better or worse. But I did one of those the other day where something wasn't working right, and I didn't know what. It ended up turning. I think it had to be a loose cable in my HMI component transcoder, and it threw my whole setup into a tizzy. And I could, oh my god, I did so much tearing to figure out what was going on. And I just wanted to play some N64 with some people I had over. They wanted to play some Mario Kart 64. They weren't really gamers. And so I eventually gave up, grabbed a long HDMI cable, and ran it straight to my 64. It's HDMI modded. And I was like, all right, screw this. I'm going to bypass everything and go straight to the TV.
It's definitely like a curse at sometimes.
You were talking about that a few days ago or a couple of weeks ago, and I was thinking about, man, I just went through that, chasing down that one faulty, and it was just like a loose cable, RCA cable on a component connection.
Yep.
And mine's a lot more simple than these setups, but it's definitely more complex than the average person who just wants to buy something with an HDMI cable and plug it in and forget it.
We saw a Super 64 at one of the game stores.
The Eon, the overpriced 64 S video to HDMI adapter, effectively is what it is.
Yeah.
At least their GameCube one is good because it's GC video, but the 64 one that's just way too much money.
Plain digital.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, well, I mean, it's pulling S video and then converting it to digital, like that.
Right,
you're
right,
doing the
but I mean,
GameCube, yeah,
GameCube is
yeah,
digital.
yeah. GameCube is much
So,
easier
you
to get
know,
a quality signal out of.
That's what it's supposed to.
All right, Jonathan Henson with $10.
Oh, thank you.
I found your channel when I needed it the most. It was July of 2016, and a few weeks after my dad died. I truly appreciate you both, and thanks for everything. That Henry guy is kind of cool too. Yeah, I hung out with Jonathan when I came up here for the limited run opening. We spent many hours together in line. Ran into you guys a few times.
I've hung out with Jonathan a couple times since.
Yep, Jonathan's a great dude. Hung out and went and got some dinner and afterwards, and definitely was a good time. Great hanging out, and that limited run opening was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought Jonathan was supposed to come here for some reason, for work. Maybe that already happened. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it was canceled, or maybe it's still going to happen.
Zane's dad said, like, my issue was like kind of like old school Christmas tree lights. Have to go through them all just to make them work again.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's a thing.
I don't envy those days of needing that kind of that kind of troubleshooting Christmas lights.
Yeah.
All right. And just a random comment I saw from earlier. Madonna Sheehy said, "Don't forget it's Sandy's birthday month."
It is.
Well,
it is.
Yes. Does it count that it's Nelly's Gotcha month? Oh, no, we got her in November. Sorry, it's November.
You said gotcha, and my mind immediately went to Japanese vending machines, and I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's like that a term that it's Sophia's Gotcha month, though.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Yep. What do we have? And this has been unfortunately back in there a while. I don't know if he's still here.
Jeez,
Smoke Monster jumped into the chat earlier.
Not that
Congrats
hard.
on a decade of MLiG. Such hard work and dedication.
Well, you've had your share of hard work and dedication too. So thank you. There's a lot of nice conveniences that we would not have if not for you.
Yes. I don't know how many hours of work you spent on making those lists, we'll call them, but holy crap, are they amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you probably had problems associated with all of those, and people being, fortunately, people on the internet, but we really appreciate that work.
As we were going back and doing all the live streams and stuff, I found myself really watching a lot of the ones that when Smoke Monster was on with us a couple of times, doing various Mr. stuff. And it's like, oh, these are really, really good streams. Really fun. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah. So just so I don't miss it, even if it may be a little out of order, so I apologize. We had another Streamlab, Bag of Schmidt with $10.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on all the success. You guys are still making the highest quality retro content on YouTube. Thanks for showing me the world of RGB and the like.
We will.
Thank you.
Continue to endeavor to meet those standards.
$2 from the Sotinist, as in, I guess, Symphony of the Nightist. SOTNist.
Sotinist.
I have not watched the Castlevania show yet. I've heard that's pretty good, though.
They want
season.
I still have to watch the last season of the Trevor era.
Yeah. They want you to know, I think you'd love Ghouls and Ghost Resurrection.
Oh, yeah. I do love it. We streamed it. I streamed it
You did it you did it as part of an actual Capcom stream, didn't you?
Because they sent a review code for it, and they did some event for it, and we played it on there. I love it. I thought it was great, and it kills me that it's not gonna get a physical release. It makes me really, really sad.
Is there some reason that's just
I just don't think it did very well, and they just couldn't justify it. It really, really kills me that is not getting. Because I mean.
Because I've never played it, and because I usually try to hold out for physical copies. I mean, I should probably just download it sometime.
Yeah.
Scott Snyder with a $9.99 super chat.
Dang,
What
thank
an
you.
amazing 10 years. Every video a masterpiece. Every stream an escape.
A masterpiece. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, there definitely are some serious. There are some in there. That's there's some true masterpieces in there.
You know, something that is I was just because I was recycling footage from it for the most recent video, but going back and looking at parts of the Switch Online controllers video, like that was one of my personal favorite episodes. I think.
You have no idea the games that I picked up and played that I would have never even just seeing what you were playing with those. And I love this. I kind of like the old school videos you guys did, which I spent money because of you guys on stuff like the old videos of what was the title? Basically like sequels or ports that you're probably not familiar.
You were telling me today how you bought
Gunstar Heroes Advance or whatever it was called.
Yeah. Superheroes.
Superheroes, yeah, Gunstar Superheroes. Look, I bought it a complete, but rough-ish, but a complete one on eBay that I made some offers on and got a reasonable deal. And then that game shot up big time right after I did that.
Oh,
I saw a
really?
copy today, and
is
it was
it?
like
I assume that
$85.
it's expensive now.
It's like $85 now, and I got one for like $30 for a rough. Like I said, it's cardboard just got to like marred. Like it was probably like some other damp piece of paper got on it at some point. And
that's complete.
Yes, complete. And it's like an $85 game, complete now.
Before you move on to the like any other super chats, I do want to call out. I see that Artemio Urbina's in the chat saying an RGB masterclass, and I want to say like there is like zero chance that we would still be here without Artemio. Like, I mean, if there has been somebody who has been like instrumental in the like the ability to cover the things that we've covered on the channel and talk about them competently, it's like I don't think that we would have been able to even do any of that without his help.
No, like there would be so much bad information in our videos.
Yes, and so many like missed things.
Not just because of his tools, but because of just like his. I don't know how he has the time to just be such a nice and helpful person.
Yes.
He's just so willing to help and ensure that good and correct information about stuff is out there. And not to say that we've sure we've made mistakes here and there, but it like he's just done so much to not only ensure our accuracy, but also I think shape our standards for accuracy and preservation. I mean, in all honesty, Analog Frontiers, so much of the narration in that is inspired by conversations I've had with Artemio, because he like literally like reforms the way my brain thinks about some of these subjects, because he just thinks on such a deep level and
just like such thorough understanding.
Yes, he has such a thorough understanding and analytical sort of mind.
Yes.
He always is asking the right questions to come to the right conclusions. And that mindset has like shaped my own outlook on subjects like preservation and console modification and considerations of, well, there's this, but there's also this, and well, sure, you think this is preserved, but what about this aspect? Stuff like that. Artemio has really been instrumental in shaping our outlook on those subjects.
Yes.
So I mean, just Artemio just deserves so much I mean, he's so humble, so unbelievably humble, but he deserves every word of honest praise we give him. You know, he has had a massive. I mean, not to downplay the contributions that other people have made to us, but I mean, he is the contributions he's had is probably just unparalleled in terms of, you know, just.
Robert Carlson puts it very succinctly here. I don't think it's possible to overstate the importance of the 240p test suite.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I mean, most of the people in this community, like, jokingly, but also not jokingly, call it their favorite game.
Yep.
I mean, it's their most played game.
Yeah.
If favorite or not, it's their most played game.
Wait, you mean some people spend more time working on their setup than playing games? I wouldn't know anybody like that. That's like, gonna look away and just kind of hide my face.
You know, and of course, all the effort he's put into MD Fourier, you know, to try to tackle a problem that people haven't really known how to solve, and also not known to really apply the attention to, you know, in terms of audio. You know, that's I think been a big awakening as well on, you know, emulation and other audio replication related scenarios. I mean, just tremendous work. I mean, even you know, gets, you know, an audio dummy like me, you know, interested in, you know, trying to do my own, you know, audio tests and analysis to the extent that I'm able to, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to clear earlier. We got sidetracked midway through. Scott Snyder also wanted to let you know he's looking forward to the Voltar SNES Edge Enhancer video.
Yes, I mean it's not going to be very complicated because
it looks like now it looks like just as good as a one chip or better even.
Yeah, I mean I've not really done those direct comparisons yet, so I don't really the conclusion on that is honestly to be
to be determined.
But you know, it's definitely like a holy grail mod. I mean, the main reason I want to do it, you know, honestly, more so than just like to say like, you know, show like, okay, here's how it compares, here's how it looks with RetroTink, here's how it looks with an OSSC or on a PVM or whatever. Like I mostly just want to do it just to let people know that like, hey, this mod that you have wished to exist for so long, you know, here it is. It's here. It finally exists. It was definitely a challenge for him, I know, and that's why it took so long to for such a mod to actually be formulated.
Well, keep being dudes and keep being too real to be real.
That's always my goal.
Yeah. And it says that's the first super chat from Scott Snyder.
Oh yeah. Scott recently finished up all the live streams, like doing all the live stream time codes. So all that stuff is done. It's just that
we just have to finish releasing the rest.
There's like 135 left to release, and I just wanted to let that new video to kind of breathe for a little bit. So I will do it eventually. I'll start releasing them again, but I'm gonna, you know, take a little break. But Scott Snyder did over 200 live streams.
Wow.
Absolutely, like, invaluable, like, the work that he did. It just made it so much more bearable.
Yes,
so thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's impressive. And I just realized I apologize. It apparently my YouTube chat skipped around here and skipped a section of Super Chat. So I apologize for those in order here. Like, I didn't realize it had moved my cursor from where I had it. So I'm getting back up to the ones that it missed. I remember we did this one. So the one after that would be from Hype or HYP Industries.
Oh.
Hype. Yeah, Hype.
$5. It says, I never realized we shared birthdays. Now I'll never forget an MLiG anniversary. Please keep up the great work, and here's to another 10 years.
Thank you.
along with in that section that was mistakenly missed, $5 from Choir Boy.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Congrats on 10 years of MLiG. I probably wouldn't have discovered a particular 32X game without seeing the 3-second clip of it in one of your videos, and that's his.
That was definitely me doing that.
I had no idea we were at fault for
yeah, I didn't realize that.
Obsession. Yeah. Oh man, his tempo obsession is, for those that
it's legendary.
It's legendary in the Discord. Like every time somebody says anything tempo in any video that's ever on YouTube, he's tagged in it because we know he loves his tempo.
Maybe.
Fenris Wolf Retro.
Oh, yes.
Always local Discord member, always known for his amazing mod work, and always in there, always doing great work for everybody around. Congrats on 10 years, fellas. Been watching for around 6 or 7 years, and I look forward to more MLiG content in the future. Also, Clark, $1 can't stop all the trolls because I'm in the server too. Well, it tempers them at least. If you're dedicated enough to spend money to troll, I guess. But
I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, but y'all keep going.
In that, Smoke Monster also had a $9.99.
Oh, okay.
Congrats on the 10 years. I remember binging MLiG videos way back.
You read that one. That's why I mentioned Smoke Monster.
You know, I just saw him in the chat normally and brought him up, but my cursor had skipped around a whole section of super chats.
Got it. Okay.
So Smoke Monster with that there. Joshua Helmicky with $2. SCART Canables connected. Like I do. I'll save this one for just a moment. Oh my gosh, I am going to butcher this name, and I apologize. Gehermi?
Oh, I think it's Geherm.
Geherm?
Are you talking about Geherm Souza?
Souza, yes, with 10 reals.
I mean, I assume that's probably close to Guillermo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to butcher this dude's name. Congrats on the milestone, guys. Just wanted to thank you for helping me through my dad's passing a few years ago. He was an OG gamer, and the reason why I'm here today and every Sunday night. Love, Dad.
Oh. Well, thank you, and I'm really sorry that that you've had to go through that. I can't properly understand how it's got to feel, and I'm glad that you were able to find some enjoyment in what we do and connect it to that. Thank you. Just fell through the hole.
Okay. There's still one more in there. I'm gonna save for just a moment that I did from the skip one until Try gets back. This one was great. I when this came in, as I was kind of pre-reading some of them, I nearly spit take. Legit, I was drinking my water when I read what EB Chill dropped $20 to say happy anniversary, guys. This channel is a source of solace and comfort. Thank you.
Wow.
I bought a Sony CPD E420 Trinitron in retaliation to my wife's $400 Brazilian eyebrow treatment. Yes, this channel is partly to blame. Oh, you are a brave soul, sir. I nearly spit water all over my laptop when I was reading that initially when it came in. That was bought the pricey Trinitron because of the. And I did the last one that I missed from the earlier section. We have a John H with a $49.99 and no comments.
Dang, but thank you, John.
Goodness, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Dang. All right, everyone is going absolutely nuts tonight.
Yeah, they're. But it's what you guys have.
With some hairy eyebrows, I'm guessing.
What?
Kaylee Gamer says, "Them's with some hairy eyebrows." I'm guessing.
What was hairy eyebrows?
eBay Chill 2's wife's
$400
$400 Brazilian eyebrow treatment. I was like,
I gotta be honest, I have no idea what exactly that means.
I don't know either, and I don't know if I want to know what a $400 eyebrow treatment involves. Like at that point, are they like sewing in hairs back into your follicles off of?
No,
they grew from somebody else.
I'm going to refrain from asking for.
Mike Sherry with $5. It says at some point it would be nice to get an RGB video on the Atari 8-bit series. Yes, the computer console hybrid from the late 70s to 80s. Maybe in the next 10?
I don't have such a system, but I am currently getting a composite mod on an Atari 2600. Unfortunately, it seems I don't know if there's any way to get your hands on one now, but Tim Worthington no longer makes the RGB mod for Atari, and I guess understandably so. Not that many people necessarily see the value in RGB mod for Atari, but it's still but it's still clear video, so I don't know. I think it makes sense, but I should have done it years ago. But I'm looking forward to trying some stuff with the composite mod. But that'll be a 2600, not the computer. Sorry to say, but who knows? I don't think retro computers are. We are, you should be looking to LGR.
I was about to say LGR is your source there.
Retro computer fix.
Yep. Retro YPBPR. Congrats. Or sorry, member for 34 months. Congrats. Your vids were definitely a gateway. Glad I never did buy a Framemeister. Got OSC that collects dust now because I mostly play on CRT.
Ooh.
I'm not going to beat this with one hit left, am I? I don't know what's even in store for me in the last.
Are you like near the end?
Yeah, I'm at the last boss right now.
Oh wow. What were we saying you should play after if you finish?
No, don't. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Artemio wanted you guys to know that you guys do the work. I am too verbose. You were good at summarizing and simplifying, also doing the visual and narrative.
Well, but we have so many questions for you because we have to ask the questions to know how to distill it, right? But your verbosity, I would say, lended a lot of credibility to Analog Frontiers, I would say, in your interview especially.
We've got Tender Brew as a member for 18 months.
Thank you.
Thank you. Impossible for me to stay awake past 10 p.m. It's almost past 10. Hopefully you're still here. I apologize. We're getting through as fast as we can.
It's hard. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's a crazier night than usual, but it's fun.
But once again, congrats on the 10 years. I'll drop by whenever I can. Bushed. Super Fox 5 Gaming with $5 Canadian. I hope you guys keep going for more years and wonder if you will ever run out of content to talk about.
Oh my God.
Love from Canada.
I don't think so. With the amount of stuff that's just like coming out in general.
Yeah, I mean, I
can't imagine that ever happening.
I remember,
we do a bad job of like keeping up with it as it is.
Yeah, I remember coworker at the job I was at when we started the channel many years ago. he was like, I mean, like, with retro gaming, aren't you going to eventually run out of things to talk about? Like it's like
That's
there's
naive.
It's like, you know, you're eventually going to run out of games to talk about, right? And it's like, no. Even if we just talked about games, like not like, you know, hardware or, you know, more broader topics or something, just we would never run out of things to talk about. Like that, you know, obviously he just didn't understand the scope of what retro gaming is, and not only that retro gaming's not just stuck in the past, it's new stuff happening all the time. It's crazy.
And with that, caught up. and I want you to know, after all this time since the last conversation, the chat right now is still on Brazilian eyebrows. I love this. I love this group. And I think, where'd that comment go? K-Lead Gamer goes, I'd cheap out. I'd be placing Gorilla Tape on those brows while they're sleeping.
Well, that is ridiculously strong.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. Like, the timing in the hitbox is so weird in this.
I honestly can't remember if I ever got that game.
Is it delisted? It might be delisted now.
I think you're right.
Or it got delisted and then put back, maybe.
I should maybe I should check my PS3 after I finish this.
Yeah, you're in the Himalayas. I haven't even looked at your stream at all.
I mean, it's hard for me to get a glimpse of yours as we've been going as well.
You crush the jack and try again. It's empty now. I do have a high noon here, but I feel like that's like flirting with potential disaster.
Joshua Helmke, $2.
Maybe after I beat the game.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. Like, Joshua Helmke loves this every time I died. Loves to say that. But I love, like, that's one of the things I just, like, love so much, because I feel like we have so many regulars that are here each week. And it just, like, still blows my mind that so many people still show up, like, every week.
Like, they don't get tired of me having my ums and uhs and likes. like I, I'm not as good at speaking off the cuff as I am after I'm better with scripted content, right? But I don't know. I wouldn't watch me, so thanks everyone.
Master Safer has been a member for 5 months and just says, it's no use.
It's no use. Oh my goodness. Didn't you see a sealed Sonic 06 today?
No.
Oh, really? I don't have one. If you ever see one, they're cheap.
You said something about sealed Sonic.
Oh, it wasn't sealed. I ran across a random one and asked if you were ready for another copy if you needed another copy after your traumatic video with John.
In fact, I do not.
Having never really played it, for some reason I hear it's no use, and I can't help but think of like Dante and Devil May Cry, like saying like, let me fill your black heart with light. I don't know why, like that makes me think of that same like inflection. Like saying something with that same inflection. Is that like, or your dark heart with light?
That's not a line that rings a bell. I played through the first 3 DMC games once and don't remember a ton.
Dementium wants you to know that we're all Zelda fans here. We love likes.
Your cold black soul with light.
Do we love likes?
I was like, those a-holes keep stealing my shield. I don't know if I necessarily love them.
I'm supposed to fill your dark soul with light. That's right. That's him. Your dark soul with light. That's what he says to Trish in the first one. And that's when the Devil May Devil does cry.
Joseph D'Elia with $4.99.
Oh.
Cheers to a decade, guys. You both helped me with so many ideas for my home console setup, and I'm forever grateful. Here's to another 10 years of MLiG. And that is Joseph's first super chat.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, we never expected when we launched the channel that it with the focus would end up being, because we knew like very little about it. You know, it's kind of amazing how much that we've learned since the beginning, just in general.
Things don't always work out as planned, and they work out how they need to work out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I always talk about that. Like I talked about this like on the podcast. I feel like so much of it was, you know, like right place, right time. We got very, very lucky with like timing. Like that first RGB video was just like meant to be like a one-off, but I think that there was like an interest in like a subject, and there was not a lot of like easily accessible information. It was just timing and getting lucky, really. I mean, I do feel like a lot of it is timing and luck.
Yeah.
That I don't think that we could have like recreated intentionally.
Yeah.
Joshua Helmke with $2. What am I fighting for?
Although, you know, there was some degree of intentionality, I would say, in starting with the how to beat videos, because we thought, like, you know, these are about new games that will be
for sure
things people are talking about, and we thought this will be a good way to, because it'll be funny, it might get posted around. We thought it was a good way to potentially build a little bit of an audience.
For something that was like hopefully not a lot of work.
Right. And that way, when we got to stuff like, I want to say the Star Fox video was the first, like, kind of, well, that was the first video that had like one of our voices in it, right?
Yeah.
And that was like, we wanted to get to that kind of stuff and documentary type of stuff, but we wanted to build a base of an audience first, and we thought that we thought that, you know, something funny like that, like the how to beat videos, would be a good way to get started.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to say, though, I think with those like the how to beat stuff, I feel like we were ahead of the curve when it came to like the VHS aesthetic for things.
Oh yeah. Well, and we're still ahead of the curve, because the secret to those is
do it for real.
Do it for real. And most people are like, you know, like, oh, that's a really cool effect. And it's like, no.
It's like, it's not an effect. I mean, the effects are really good now.
But they still don't have the same vibe of doing it for real, I don't think. They look cool, right, but it's not the same as doing it for real. It really isn't.
Good Vibe Collecting says the Star Fox video was just ASMR Corey.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of those were. A lot of those early videos. And I talk about that because it's like my daughter was asleep in the other side of the wall. On the other side of the wall.
Oh. Zane's dad, member of 32 months now.
Wow.
Happy 10 years. Found you in 2020, I think. Since I've bought 30 plus consoles, 80 plus controllers, 6 retro scalers, and even more. Love you guys, even if my wallet doesn't.
Well, and you just moved Zane's dad, and that makes me feel even worse, because we had such a problem for your moving logistics.
You know, it's funny. Like, one of my favorite comments on that, like, I don't know if it was like being mean, but actually like jokey at the same time, on the new video says like, has 150 controllers, uses 7.
I feel that one. Yeah. I feel that one myself. I've got those. I've got IKEA Calyx, and I've got those the buckets that fit inside there, for lack of a better term. Yeah, just like
like that.
And I have 2 of them full of controllers. One completely full of my wired, one of the wireless. And like, what do I use? I use the freaking 8BitDo M30 on everything I can. So except for I now have the Ultimate, the 8BitDo Ultimate I use for Switch and PC. So yeah, it's pretty much those 2 controllers if it's not on the Xbox or the Series or the PlayStation 5. Where are we? Demo Kirby for $2. The age of gaming has ended. Now, my life and pets.
I think a little bit about like if, you know, when this interest in classic games kind of dries up, you know, like there's going to be no interest in any of this stuff.
I think I've seen that it's already the especially the 2020 explosion has shrunk significantly.
Yeah.
Already. So I think what you're seeing now is like there's a large amount are the more serious people where it's not about retro gaming, it's about gaming period. And retro gaming that was an era that doesn't exist anymore. Like we are getting ports, and some really good stuff in the same vein. But I think while it already has done that shrinking, so I don't think you're gonna see it take a massive.
But to me, retro gaming is a mindset of like, hey, games aren't bad because they're old. They aren't something like, it's not like new is always better, right? Like it's just like it's embracing the entirety of gaming history up to this point. I think of it as a mindset. Oh, I should have done that while he was standing over there.
There's at least one more miss. Madonna Sheehy with $9.99.
Thank you.
Don't discount how friendly and easygoing you guys are too. The gaming community can be gatekeepery and not fun for women, but you have cultivated an open and nice community that's different than many.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, just want to, hang out, like it's it's not a competition. I tell my kids that all the time. Like, none of this stuff is competition. I just want everybody just like what you like, play what you want to play, and talk about it openly. And it's like nothing needs to be like a competition.
Unfortunately, the internet gaming side, especially, but everywhere on the internet, wants to make stuff everything is binary. It's black or white, or you're this or you're that, and that ends up making some. I told you that's why I end up finding this Discord, is because I was looking for. I know if you go on Twitter, you find a gaming community, and so much of it is just people arguing or trying to prove why their console is better than others, or people calling no, that game sucks, no, you suck, no, your mom sucks, and all that kind of stuff. Like I wasn't looking. That's not what I was looking for. I wanted like, wow, we can actually have a discussion and with people that truly appreciate this stuff, and that's where I joined the Discord through the Patreon, and found exactly that with this community, because like you guys have all this positive energy and all this stuff. I can't imagine you're going to Patreon, the Discord to be full of people willing to come join that are just going to be crapping on everything. Of course, everybody has their moments. Everybody has their own reasons why they may not like something as well, and may say things that aren't always perfect and kind. But as a whole, it's the community that you guys created because of that. That's what you guys put out there, so that's what you guys brought in.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we created it, but
the positivity in the channel and everything, like looking at the positives of everything.
You're not going out there looking up to fight, to stir up fights and trouble and poop on this and poop on that, and I think it draws in the right kind of people who are also looking for that, and people who aren't looking for that are going to get bored with you very quickly.
Yeah. We just want to talk about things that we like. and that they like get us like that we get excited about.
Oh, and all of this, apparently Sasquatch in Time is now a member. Has just joined the subscribe through YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see, Voltar's here saying congratulations on 10 years of fantastic content. Here's to another 10 years.
Congratulations on to you for even more years of doing all the things you've done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how interested people are going to be in a nearly 55-year-old Corey talking to the camera. So we'll see.
Hey, age is just a number. We'll still be here.
Yeah.
And you know, I sometimes think of this.
Oh, I got the night outfit.
Like John used some sort of like I don't know what kind of app it was, but like one of those apps that the kids use these days that like put stuff on your face and whatever, right? He did one that was like it was I think it was a screenshot from the Final Fantasy VII remake like ad-lib video that we did. I mean, it was like old man try. Like I looked like I was like 70, and it was like, yeah, that kind of looks about right.
You know, I'm like most of the way through Shenmue now, and like the face textures in that game, like it kills me, like how leathery everybody looks. Like their skin just like looks so leathery.
And are you playing the Dreamcast or?
I'm playing the HD version.
Right.
Just because I wanted it for convenience. But I might play it again on the Dreamcast.
Robert Hernandez with $9.99.
Ooh, thank you.
As Try so eloquently stated, retro/classic gaming is now a mindset. Thanks to microtransaction, people will continue to flock to this style of gaming for its simplicity and immersive experiences.
The simplicity of it. That's what I like. I mean, the technology can be complicated, but you know, once you sit down and play the games, the simplicity is one of my favorite aspects.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's funny because there was a comment recently where someone was talking about like, oh, I prefer real hardware because it's so much simpler. It's like, how is this simpler than emulation? It's like, well, you're not wrong depending on where you're coming from, right? Like, if you're starting from a place of, having more access to one or the other, and more experience setting up one or the other, then, from one perspective, it could be more work or less work. But if you've already got CRTs, like, what could be simpler than plugging it in and then it just works?
Yeah,
it just works. I appreciate that aspect more and more sometimes. Although but we do always find like very complicated ways to do things, I'll admit. But everyone has their own set of interests and things that make more sense to them. And, I think people who like really love like really cultivating their like computer environment and really setting up emulator lists and stuff like that, they get a lot of joy and enjoyment out of setting that up, just like a lot of people get a lot of joy out of setting up PC game settings, and me not so much. And that's fine. It's good that everyone has different interests in that way.
The interest of spending more time installing, updating my PC, and tweaking settings in a game than actually playing it. That one. I mean,
people are like, oh, but you spend so much time like tweaking stuff in the retro tank. But it's like, I don't know. It's different for me. It like I always say about the Mister, like either the idea or not just Mister, but FPGA stuff in general, like the idea of doesn't necessarily mean it's more accurate or less accurate, but if the idea of how it works tickles something in your brain, then it's for you. And if it does, if it doesn't, then it's not. And the idea of like, let me tell you what, like doing RetroTink scaling, like tickles something in my brain. So
I feel that for sure.
So like, whereas dealing with computer settings, I like to learn about it by watching, Alex and Richard talk about their videos. Like even though I don't play PC stuff, I try to watch most Digital Foundry videos because I feel like I learn a lot. I keep up to date on what like new technologies, like software technologies and hardware technologies there are, and I feel it's good to have an understanding of that stuff, even if I don't have direct experience with it. So but messing with it directly myself, not as interested. I mean, I do it when I have to, but I don't especially like it. I like the limitations because like when I have the power to make something better, then you can just spend forever on. But then with something like a scaler, like you certainly can spend a lot of time on it, but you can also kind of get to a point where you're just satisfied, I think. It just depends on your mindset. For some people, one way is going to be more complicated, and for some people, the exact opposite is going to be more complicated. That's how it is.
Right. I just want to say, even though I'm playing this version of the original, Castle of Illusion was the first game that we ever streamed, as part of our
just on Genesis, I assume.
Yeah, because I did the Castle of Illusion and Magical Quest video.
The episode debrief.
Yes, that was an episode debrief.
We got a few more super chats actually, a whole bunch of come in the last few minutes. Master Safer with $20. Your content got me from depression to making overly elaborate signal distribution charts and game room floor plans. Nothing that hasn't already been said, but thanks for changing my life in gaming for the better. Cheers.
Thank you. I mean,
hard to process how people can think that about what things we've done, but thank you.
Anything that helps change the way puts your mind into a different gear when you're in that way. I understand that very well myself. Anything positive and something that engages your brain to think, oh, I can be doing this. It does a lot. So that's definitely where that comes from. And it's a great, it does a great job of doing things like that for sure. Especially somebody with an analytical brain, okay, let's make connections. Let's make this, plug this to here, run it to here, split through here. And there's something about seeing it all work that's its own dopamine simulator.
Yeah.
And
also,
sometimes that dopamine is what we all need.
It's also an ADHD simulator.
We have a few more here. Let me get the one in the stream chat. One or two in Streamlabs before I lose those, or do this more. Okay. Here's a donation from. This looks like a Windows GUID. If anybody here besides Zane's dad knows what I'm talking about when I say that, the username, so I apologize.
Oh, there's one person that always has a weird, the
SLID D8991 F5FB00234D1. Happy 10th anniversary. You guys have done a ton to enhance my love for retro gaming over the last several years. Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you. We may not know who you are, but I recognize that.
You probably
the SLID.
By the username, I get the impression you don't want us to know who you are, and that's okay.
or maybe Streamlabs messed up, or maybe that's their actual username, but it sounds like a Windows GUID.
A GUID?
Yeah, we call them GUIDs. That's everything in Windows you do. Your username, all this kind of stuff. Your username isn't what you typed in. Your username is this random gibberish that looks a lot like this guy's ID. So, let's see. I know a few others to catch up on. Let me check that real quick. $20.23, 2023 from Felipe Osa.
Oh.
Yeah, Osa, I believe.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Try and Corey. Even though I can't keep up with the streams for a while, I always recommend your videos to my friends. You always keep it simple for folks who are just starting to dig into retro. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, that's I take the most pride in that.
Somebody saying it was Dave Carr was the one who donated, whose username became a Windows GUID.
Oh.
Dave Carr 10.
All right, yeah, Dave Carr has become a regular over on the Backloggery stream.
Oh, okay. Heck yeah.
$5 from Hades Hot Gun.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Congrats on 10 years to Try and Corey, and God bless this community of weirdos who still like video games even after they stop being brand new.
I mean, how many people in this chat had parents that said, "You're eventually going to get over this, and don't like you're going to have no interest."
Jokes
like,
on you, old people. Oh wait, I'm the
yeah.
old.
I mean, like, my mom is still like, you never. I guess you never got out of that, did you?
Well, you know, the funny thing, I always like to tell the story about how when I won the N64, you know, I was of the age where my dad was like, well, you need to learn about saving up money. And he's like, you know, the yard sale was coming up, and he was like, you know, you never played that original Nintendo anymore. You know, I stopped playing when I got the Super Nintendo. And he's like, you should sell that and save up money for that N64 you want. And I'm like, no, I mean, I guess maybe. And you know, my mom was like, you shouldn't. I don't think you should sell that. And I listened to Dad. I sold. I mean, it was an NES in the box with all my games, which was probably like, I don't know, like 10 or 12 maybe. And sold it all for $20.
Oh man.
And,
I was there. I did all the same crap. That's why I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, I didn't sell my systems, but I definitely sold a lot of games like at yard sales and stuff.
but you know, I was like telling that story because it's like I guess my mom is kind of cool because she was the one that's like, you're gonna regret. Like she knew, and then like, sure enough, a few years later, I'm like, you know, can I get a used NES for my birthday? And she's like, I told you. But you know, I still look on as a net positive experience because that taught me to get into. I mean, this, you know, we're talking like probably like 98-ish, and that taught me that mindset of, you know, hey, just because it's old doesn't mean that it's not good anymore.
Right.
And also that, gosh, there's so much to explore for a system that you just completely missed back then, right? Like, like there's just, NES is still providing me with new experiences today, right? Like, isn't that crazy? And it got me that mindset, and I was also able to get a lot of games, you know, back, you know, late 90s when people generally didn't want NES games and Super Nintendo games. And, you know, that was also when I was trying to get into RPGs. So I was able to get a lot of games that, you know, when people who got into retro much later, like, so I had an early experience, an early awakening to, you know, the embracing the fullness of gaming generations rather than just moving on exclusively to what was new. And so, yeah, I consider that NES selling a net positive because I learned that lesson early.
And it didn't help you get a 64, did it?
Well, I mean, well, my parents, it was half a Christmas present.
Okay.
So, but my dad wanted me to earn $100.
Okay.
So it got me. It got me a fifth of the way to an N64.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense at the time, and you look back at it now. But I mean, like, just having gotten rid of that, like, shaped so much. Like what you just said. You know, like it.
Exactly. I mean, who knows if our content today would be the types of stuff it is? Who knows if I would have developed the same passions for, you know, continuing to love old games and not just the new games. And also just the joy I get from, you know, just continuing to discover new to me games,
right,
or old systems. You know, I mean, that mindset is not something everyone has, or it's something that they develop much later. And I'm glad I learned that early.
Yeah.
So that I could afford some of this stuff when it was not expensive.
Does anyone feel like this effect right here is still impressive when I flip it? Like, it's cool.
What effect?
When I flip the world. Like, I feel as though...
right on the mouse.
Oh, yeah, that's I
mean, it's still cool.
Quite great looking considering, you know, the age of it.
I honestly don't quite remember that part of the game. But it is cool.
You have this, though, right?
Yeah. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, honestly.
We had $5 from Zane's dad. Speaking of getting your computer just right, don't get into retro PC gaming with hardware. Makes retro consoles setups seem cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to get a retro PC, but and I mean, I have like parts in the closet that I could probably put one together, but it wouldn't be like as good as I would want it to be. But also,
there's so many retro PCs. There's one for every era is the problem.
I mean, I was talking to someone.
I'm kind of okay just like using the Mister or something like that for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking. You know, I've held on to a number of things, especially things that I got like from my old job, and I held on to it for a long time. But I was earlier this year, I was kind of wanting to like free up some space, and you know, I was talking to someone who's like, "Hey, like, do you know anyone who might have like Windows 98 PC or Windows 95 PC?" And I'm like, or who's looking to sell? I'm like, no. And then I'm like, wait a second, I have that stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I know that you would use that. You would actually be more likely to do something cool and interesting with it. And I'm just sitting on the possibility that I might. And deep down, I know that I'm not really that interested in really learning to deal with retro PCs, because I have nostalgia for like Windows 95 and 98, and honestly more XP for me, more XP than 95 and 98, but that's because PCs to me have always been tools, not so much like I've played games on them, yes, but they've always been work tools to me, or creative tools, not gaming devices. Just for me personally, like it's not, that's just, I separate those things in my mind. And that's, you know, it's like, you know, okay, I have nostalgia for like Windows XP and a little bit for 959 as operating systems, but not for the games or for the hardware. And am I really going to like get deeply into messing with that? I honestly, I don't see it. So like I helped hook someone else up with some retro hardware because I was just like, you know, I really
Love the music on the subtle.
I really don't think that. I think I need to write that off as something that I'm like actually going to get into. You know, like come on, let's do that.
We've got 10 euros, I believe, from Indie Gotcha. Found your channel through gaming on CRT vids. Since then, been a happy owner of 2 Trinitrons and a Mr. FPGA. Thanks for making me fall head over heels on CRT retro gaming, trying Corey. Loving 10th anniversary.
Yep, you know, you say that, and I immediately hear Tears for Fears in my head. The song Head Over Heels.
Oh wow! Yeah, it just took me a minute to catch that one.
Thank you.
Dramata with another $5. Throwing another 5 y'all's way just to say thanks for the super positive vibes on your stream tonight. Gaming can truly be for everyone.
Thank you. You all are the ones providing the positive vibes.
But it's true. It can be for anybody, and it should be for anybody.
Yep.
Let people like what they're gonna like.
Yep. And make it accessible for everybody. You don't all have to have the ridiculous setups of the big setups you guys do to include for streaming stuff, or the relatively big ridiculous setups that I've got. You don't have, like, a lot of times they just be happy just to plug in, you know, Super Nintendo in with a compositor, preferably S-Video, into a just a cheaper free CRT you can find that nobody else wants because it's composite only.
Yeah, these are aspects that are interesting to you because, like, a lot of the stupid stuff we do and some of the stupid stuff we buy and some of the stupid hardware that we hold on to is, like, not necessarily because it's, like, profoundly useful, but because, like, well, we feel like, well, this might be something that we feel we should cover this angle or something, you know?
Right.
So, you know, most people don't need things to be stupidly over the top. Like ours is.
Bryson Adamski with $5 says, "Hi, you're my fave."
Well, thank you.
Canadian Fuzzy says, "My mom's in her mid-70s and still complains about me buying games." Back to that earlier conversation. Sotinus said they sold a Genesis and their games for $25 to get an N64. Turn around and spin it at a nearby arcade instead.
I can understand though. You remember when, you know, you go to the arcade and you get tokens, and you get, it's 1 quarter for, like 1 token. You put $1 in there, and how big of a difference it was to put like a $5 bill in there, and you got so many tokens,
so
like they just flood out.
Endless.
You feel like you could just like play games like all day long. On
Troy and I were talking about earlier. One of my like earliest gaming memories, especially outside of console gaming, was at, I don't remember which one of our birthdays it was, but it was a family only birthday party for one of them. And like my family, we grew up, we did not have much money. Nobody in the family had any money. Like we weren't, like starving type money, but we didn't have much. But I remember myself and I don't know if it was 3 or only 2 other cousins. We were handed $20 and we were in a Godfather's Pizza because we used to go there because he had a pizza buffet. Mm-hmm. And so you take everybody on the cheap when you had an event like that. And they had a small arcade with like maybe 10 cabs in there. Mm-hmm. One of them was Simpsons. And we were given $20 and we cashed them in. We were determined we are going to beat The Simpsons. And I just remember that cup absolutely overflowing when you get 80 flipping quarters out of it at once, or tokens, whatever. But then the sad part is we got to Mr. Burns and we failed.
Wait, oh, you weren't able to do it still?
Nope. With that $20, we made it to the final. We made it to the final boss, Mr. Burns. And spoiler: Mr. Burns is the boss of the Simpsons game. If you are 32 years late to the Simpsons game, I can't
believe you are telling us Mr. Burns is the bad guy.
Really? Yeah, right. Mr. Burns a bad guy in the Simpsons? Who would have thought? Yep, we failed it, and I didn't get to finish that game until it came out on Xbox 360 Arcade. That was probably 2007, 2008. I didn't get to finish that game. Yeah, it was probably like 1992, 1993, 94, somewhere in there when we were trying to beat it, and I didn't get to finish that game for another 15 years. But yeah, that cup. When you have that cup of $20 worth of quarters or tokens.
I mean, I guess like 5 seems like a lot. I can't even imagine what 20. Like, I don't think I ever put $20 into a token machine.
Like I said, it was to keep all of us a small group of kids though. So 5 wouldn't have gone far between 3 or 4. Yeah, but we were determined we're gonna beat this, and we.
But it made a memory you never forget.
It did. Okay. Robert Hernandez with another $10. To Corey's point, my mom helped me write a resume for a game testing job at Sega of America during the Genesis/Saturn days. To this day, she can't believe I made money playing video games.
Yeah, I mean, even as a kid, like it seemed like a dream job, but also completely impossible.
Yeah,
completely impossible. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially as a kid, like, I knew that, like, the good games came from Japan, right? Mm-hmm. Like, most of the Western games that I liked were actually developed in, like, mostly in Europe. And, like, for people who grew up more on the PC side, like American game development was very good. But in terms of, like, consoles, I feel like American game development didn't really come into its own until, like, around the Xbox 360. I mean, it started to get pretty good.
Like on consoles, yeah.
On consoles, yeah. Like, that was when Western development got good. And I was just like, like, I don't like most games from American studios. Like, if I work in video games, I'm going to be stuck making games I don't even like. But that was starting to change right around the time I graduated college. So if I were 5 years younger, I might have gone into development.
You know what I think is interesting, like, playing this right now? Like, I mean, I've talked about this before. I feel like I am so much better at games than I was, like, when I started the channel. Because everyone says, oh, I was better, like, so much better at games when I was a kid. I feel like I'm, like, the best at them that I've ever been.
Oh, yes, other than when I was my competitive years, I played some Quake 3 competitively in the early 2000s. Other than that, like, no, I'm a much better gamer in my mid to late 30s than I would have been as a kid. You just had the time to practice everything then, where you're an adult with responsibilities now. You have a tenth of the gaming time you did back then. But no, the actual gaming ability just because you can think through things a lot better as an adult with much better reasoning skills.
And you have a lot more experience.
Yeah.
With the tropes of game design.
Yep. When you see the red things, don't shoot them if you're close to them.
Yeah.
Well, but sometimes you still experiment.
What happens? I'm dead. Where Madonna Sheehy wants to know if you're seeing the new Saw movie.
Saw? I didn't know there was
a Saw. Saw X is coming out. I mean, listen, I haven't watched any since the third one, so I'm definitely not. Like, that's just not the kind of horror that I like.
I like a few Halloweens or October spooky seasons ago, rather. We watched all of the Saw movies. like there was definitely some interesting aspects, but
well, apparently this one takes place between like the first and second one.
Oh, interesting. I mean, it's been a long time, but it didn't make much of an impact. I remember very little about kind of what happened in general. But it's probably something we'll watch at some point, I imagine.
Wow, we're flooding in again. We have Jay Grays with $10. Your streams really helped me this year. I had to have 4 surgeries, one right after another. It was nothing serious, but still stressful. The streams helped me relax, and I appreciate it every week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jeez.
Smoke Monster has organized the TV, cleaned, recapped, and lubed the terminal while listening tonight. Very productive stream. What did I get for Jay Gray? Paul Sutton with $49.99.
Ah.
It's been a while since we've seen you, Paul.
Yeah.
Congrats on 10 years of fun and games.
I mean, I've known Paul as long as I've known Shinjan.
Thanks for all the entertaining Sunday evenings.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for sticking around for so long. And
thank you for giving us some first dibs on some of the stuff you got in your store.
But I mean, I've known Paul. Paul, stayed at my house multiple times when I lived in New York. During the Next Level New York City get-together events that we'd have. It happened 3 years in a row, I think, or every other year.
I'm so sad I missed all of that. That sounds like such a... When I've read through some of those old posts, when you sent some of them to me and I read through some of the stuff, was you guys going back and forth with Dave Haverford and stuff. Oh,
Halverson. Oh, I know. I mean, that was... I mean, this was the Next Level. So it was after that was already long past.
Oh, okay. I was thinking this was those forums.
After Game Go and everything.
Oh, okay.
And it's just the forum that that I was on.
Did it.
Nice.
I'm actually surprised I beat Dracula relatively efficiently. Oh, wait, no, I didn't do it.
You did the escape, right?
Yeah.
Oh!
I forgot that there's more after you get the MacGuffin.
While you escape the cave, Andy Taylor, $4.99. The state of the gaming industry's apparently inevitable so-called digital future is increasingly inspiring me to explore quote new retro games instead.
Yeah.
And once it gets to that point, I will more and more be that way myself. Like I've said, the games I buy now, I think of as retirement planning. Because you know what? I actually just hit 1,000 unfinished games on my backloggery.
That's yep. We had another stream chat with a GWID, so I don't know if it's the same person again. But so we got another random ID with the $3. My friend and I went to an arcade that could take credit cards for quarters. And my friend swiped his card and asked him if he put in a specific amount. He said no, and we watched $20 in quarters pour out of the machine. I almost died laughing.
Well, I don't know if that was recent or a long time ago, but remember we had when we went to Dave and Buster's and was it St. Louis? I think it was St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we get a card that you you scan at the machine?
Yeah, but this is apparently they gave them quarters from the credit card directly, not loading a card, but straight up quarters. I guess there's a $20 minimum when you do that. That's a lot of quarters come out when you're not expecting it. Oh yeah, that's DuckTales.
Sorry, y'all can't hear.
Y'all can't hear this
main theme.
This flat out. This just awesome jam, man. It's
I know that you read the GWID. I want to make sure you saw the other ones. There was three
there's
after.
There's a few other YouTube ones I'm still getting to. Yeah. Yep. Just about to read. We got Scott Davis with $9.99. Congrats on the Decade Club.
Oh, thank you, Scott.
the Decade Club.
Thank you for all the content over the years and meeting up in San Francisco.
Yeah,
the RGB series, the setup videos, games we played at annuals are inspiration. Huzzah!
Thanks as always.
Yeah.
Always, Scott. It was great meeting you out there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? That was so much fun that I almost feel like I could like relive it, and I'd be curious to see like I forget all who was there because I think it would be real cool to like re-experience that.
That was some really good pizza too.
And the thing is, like, I just think about
the deep dish ain't Corey's thing so much, but man, I love me some deep dish pizza. That was oh man, that deep dish pizza was so good.
The thing that I think about though is like, it kind of stinks that it was so loud in that place. I remember it being just so loud.
That was it.
And that's just like not like old man.
It was hard to hear everyone.
Yeah.
We have $5 from Container 7 with happy 10th anniversary.
Thank you.
And $5 from Samuel G. Congrats on 10 years. Give Steve from Retrode a kiss for me. And Joe from Gamesack a wet willy.
Well, you know, we will see Steve in Nashville, so let this be a warning to him. Watch out.
Yeah, I didn't even realize he was in Nashville until we were talking about him earlier.
He's not anymore, but he is.
He used to be, but he lives in Virginia now, but he's coming. He always goes to the Music City Multicon that will all be the last weekend of this month, if anyone is going there.
Yep. I was debating on going. I don't know if I'll make it now with doing this other kind of last, this trip for the concert
I mean, you just went to Nashville.
Yeah, literally, that's good because that's just where I drove up to. It's for the weekend, so I'm not sure.
Hey, Sandy.
Yes, Sandy Cam. She knew it was time for her to make an appearance.
Over there, Stephen, on the hardwood.
Paul Sutton with another $4.99. The best part of TNL get-togethers was figuring out where to hide the little thank you gift for letting us crash at your house.
And it was always like after. Yeah, I mean it's always little I guess I don't know, it's like little bits of money usually.
Hiding them in weird places.
Yeah, I mean it's always super generous. Because but it was always just so fun having everybody there for so long. Just like over like a long weekend. I got some good pictures of us all playing Rock Band. I had all these wigs. We had all these wigs, and we used to always like wear these wigs when playing Rock Band.
Oh, I've seen those pictures.
Probably seen
I didn't realize
and it was
I didn't realize those were your next level things.
Yeah. That's it was like Kevin from Buffalo Pinball. He was on a stream like a long time ago with us.
Oh, I didn't realize you knew him from back then.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I've known him since since the Game Go get together at E3 2001.
Wow.
It's like where I met him, and it turned out that he was like from Buffalo, and we were on the same flight out and the same flight back. And he's like kind of had a little resurgence of like appearing in different things because like the Nuon was getting like some attention lately, and he had like the best website on the Nuon for a long time, and still does probably, like has all the information on it. And I think he was like supposed to be on a stream with Bob at some point, where Bob was going to play the Nuon.
Oh wow!
It is crazy to me, like just thinking about how much of an like impact that has had on my life. It's just like has affected certain aspects of my life to some extent, like in the most odd ways like least expected ways over the years, and it just like slowly like moves in and out of my life in different ways. And
Paul said, "No, wait, it was the several-mile death march in the 100-degree weather to go to Chinatown Arcade."
Yeah.
100-degree weather death march.
Yep. Yep.
I'm surprised how long these credits are.
That is a lot of credits.
Don't think I'm gonna be able to beat this version of it, but I'm gonna try.
You're doing you're on the PS3 emulation of the original.
Yeah, I feel like you should play the NES game now. Or at least try.
Yeah, I could.
Got a analog NT Mini sitting there looking pretty, waiting for it.
Yeah, yeah, why not? I can go grab my cart. Let's do it.
Do
I
it.
know.
Sandy's excited for 8-bit DuckTales. Is that exciting, Sandy?
You'll find it exciting because I'll turn
Sandra.
on the record.
Oh, I get to
The
see
stream won't get to see it so much.
the first time I get to see 240p content scaled to 4K appropriately
To the
on real
forks.
hardware, or in this case, simulated hardware. But that's how I play FPGA. Is how I play these days anyway.
Mhm.
I like anything. If it runs on the Mister, that's where I play it. I haven't moved Saturn and 64 over to it yet because obviously those are still in development. But anything else that's on, if it's PlayStation 1 or older, I pretty much exclusively play on FPGA. It simplified my setup, just complex enough. Plus, that gives me an excuse to use the M30 on almost anything that doesn't need analog stick.
See, I can't do it like on NES games and stuff. I mean, I can like on the Mister, I guess.
Oh, that's on them, yeah. You selling me on the M30 is probably is what did it.
Yeah.
And I just beat Final Fantasy VI for the first time I've actually completed it, and I played through the entire thing with an M30, which probably like makes some people shudder to think I beat a Super Nintendo game on a 6-button Genesis style controller. But dang it, that D-pad just feels too good.
I'm gonna run out of lives.
Don't keep the receiver in the noir because it's always
Powered and a light, that blue light. Yes, I remember. Yep.
I keep it in there. I keep it in all the time, but I just pull the plug out of the back of the NT.
One of the things I've done with my setup, I don't know, help for something like that. I keep a roll of black painter's tape around.
Yeah,
it's amazing because it will dull LEDs.
I've done stuff like that.
But like electrical tape, what everybody else would say, but that blocks it completely. But black painter's tape lets the light through, but just a tiny bit, so you can see it, but it's not obnoxious.
Nice. So, start out stream there. But for our purposes,
that menu, just seeing that menu is so nice.
The last time I think I did this, I think was on earlier firmware, and since stuff changed too much on how cropping and stuff works, so I'm gonna have to do it by hand here, but it's actually quite easy. So
shoot, I was looking at the stream. It's all right. I mean, I don't know if I run out of lives and continues. I'll play something else on the PS3, which is
soft. We do processing effects. Turn on these. Turn on that.
I assume
we're going to bump the HDR a lot more so that cancel out.
What's the analog sending to it right now?
So it's sending 1080p 4x. So I'm pre-scaling it to 270p because that includes the 240 plus what's cut off, right?
Right.
So now then here to make it fill a little more space for it's already interpolated, so I don't have to worry about that aspect. So for the top trim, we're going to cut off. What would the math be if we're going? We'll do this to 224, since it's not super necessary. So 270 minus 224 is 46. Divided by 2 is 23. So we'll do top and bottom trim 23.
That is Hero, who I've also known.
Normal.
I've known him in person longer than anybody else, I guess, because I met Hero at E3 in 2001. I remember playing like him showing me like a separated off area and us playing Hoshigami. What is that? Ruining of Blue Earth or whatever it is. And we thought like, oh, this is gonna be really cool, and then it ended up like not being very good when it came out. Like it's like Ruining Blue Earth or something like that. That's it. So I
forget if you have to find like MacGuffins in the levels in this version or not.
Play something else. If anybody has any suggestions of what to play on the PS2 here, or PS3, sorry, not PS2. I have PS2 classics on here.
I'll pick something fitting for our 10th anniversary stream.
I'm gonna try. How about Lemmings or Thexter Neo? You know, I am kind of tempted to try out this.
Don't you have a Wonder Boy collection on there?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have all the Sega ages. Like there's
Oh. For the record, I did not really grow up with this game. You know, I grew up with Rescue Rangers. But I think so. I've got this really weird memory of borrowing DuckTales from a friend and not really understanding how to play it. Like I didn't understand like how to do the pogo. I remember being very confused by it. But what's crazy is I have this memory of like, I kind of have a memory of like a waterfall area. I mean, it could be kind of all jumbled up in my head, but like the waterfall is DuckTales 2. That would be crazy to think that like if I had borrowed like a DuckTales 2 back in the day.
Madonna Sheehy wants to know what's the spooky backlog reschedule.
So I mean, spooky started early. We always try to start a little early. I possibly might be able to finish Resident Evil 4 tomorrow. I've been streaming it since the beginning of September. And I did one bonus stream. And after I finish Resident Evil 4, so the week after this coming week, Drum is going to start Alan Wake. He's never played Alan Wake.
I just bought that yesterday.
Yeah. And
I hate that B. That B always.
So he's going to play through that, and then we are. I think is Halloween. Is Halloween a Tuesday? Is that how it works this year?
It is. Yes, a Tuesday.
Yeah. So Monday before Halloween, we're going to start The Devil and Me, which is the fourth Dark Pictures anthology.
Story select.
And then Tuesday we'll finish. So that is the spooky season backlog reschedule.
We have Chicken and Fish is back. Haven't seen Chicken and Fish.
I just hit the button and it looks like it's not linked correctly. I meant
Chicken and Fish with $10. A decade of love for the game is really commendable. Thanks for all you do in bringing us together. Here's to more MLiG. Continue, Game Sack, and stop skeletons from fighting. Brave Fencer Musashi forever.
That's next on my. If I finish Shenmue, that's my next one.
I'm not familiar with Continue. I guess that's another channel.
Familiar with what?
Oh, that was like the Continue was the it was like a Let's Play channel.
Okay, yeah.
But like a group, like an ensemble Let's Play.
Okay.
I just wanted to play the first level of Sonic Adventure 2. I mean, like.
Refresh my phone.
You know, it's kind of been stuck in my head lately. Like, am I crazy for? I mean, we already know. But specifically, am I crazy for? Lately, like, I feel like, you know, part of the opening level in Sonic Adventure 2 music, like, kind of sounds like the Robotnik boss music in Sonic 2. Like, is that a thing, or?
Yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask. I think that it's like very fun. It's definitely the highlight of this game.
Oh, it's like I mean, it might be like the highlight of the entirety of 3D Sonic. Man, I game over fast. Man. That didn't go so well. That didn't go so well. Maybe I should play Rescue Rangers.
Zane's dad wants to know, if you're on a PS3, why are you not playing Sonic 06?
Well, I don't have it.
It's a good question. That's a very good
If I see it
correct
someplace,
answer
I
is
will
you have
definitely
no
buy it, but I do
perspective.
not have it.
Well, what should I do? Rescue Rangers, or should I do like just like run Mario 1 or Mario 3?
I was about to say Mario 3 because I say Mario 3 because while it's not exactly from the beginning, Mario 3 it was like the thing, like the best staple from the Sunday streams of all those times.
I'll go grab Mario. I mean, I'll do warps to get.
Yeah, I mean he'll beat it faster than me.
Oh, yeah. Earlier, I ran into a Play Choice 10 machine at one of the retro stores. Sadly, it wasn't on free play because I was going to play some Mario 3 on it. Though I went to a barcade in Nashville the other night, and they had a Play Choice, but it was broken. I was very sad. But I did find a Super Mario Brothers machine and did play on that. But dang, controlling that game is hard with trying to use a joystick and then slam your fingers down onto a tabletop to jump instead of having the comfort of a controller in my hand. Oh, and we were talking about that, and like, but what about those Super Nintendo? Because Tri was talking about not liking, not having a D-pad. Like, but what about those Super Nintendo machines? And like, oh yeah, they had those. And if you haven't seen them, they have like an oversized Super Nintendo controller, but you can't pick them up. I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen one of those in I can't remember how long. We walk into the retro shop, there one is, but it's broken. Video Game World, yeah. And they had one, the Super Nintendo arcade machine with the Super Mario World, and I forget what the other two games you could select from, but like the kind of Play Choice 10 equivalent, but for Super Nintendo. I love those machines.
It's like a Play Choice.
Yeah, but it's only a 3. Sadly, it was broken, so I didn't get to play with the awkward, oversized fake controller.
Yes. I mean, I feel like Sonic Adventure is almost impossible to control. Also,
it is.
Like I don't understand how people get real good at it. Like I can understand how they do, but at the same time, like I feel as though I was always just
dang those moves
barely functioning in it.
Yeah, as somebody who played a lot of, especially the original Sonic Adventure when it was new, because I bought a Dreamcast on launch day. That was the only game I got. yeah, the game is so slippery and difficult to control.
Yeah.
There's no Mario 64 in terms of tight controls.
I mean, I would say the best thing about these is probably the music.
Oh, easily.
And I know, that Sonic Adventure 2 opening scene is nice, but for me, it's always going to be the whale. Sonic Adventure 1.
Oh, yeah. Both of those, like the Emerald Coast.
But then Sonic 06 goes and poops on the...
That Toad's speaking Japanese.
Japanese cart.
It's a very short cart. No.
It's always nice to go back to the PS3. It's like, oh, there's some fun stuff here.
I've kind of been in a PS3 mode a little bit lately. I got really into Ridge Racer 7.
I mean, I always come back to... I've played AfterBurner Climax on so many streams, but it's like... I think that anybody who sees AfterBurner Climax is always like, this is amazing. Who's never seen it. Does anybody want me to play AfterBurner Climax?
They're like, what game?
AfterBurner Climax.
I know. They're like, what game?
Yes.
I love like comments from this, like Paul Sutton. I missed a Sega that would come up with nonsense like, let's have Sonic skydive off an attack helicopter and race through a city while being chased by an 18-wheeler.
I mean, to be fair, Yakuza's pretty wacky.
Yes. I don't have Outrun Arcade on the PS3. I have it on 360. Although I probably, you know what? I mean, I could.
Oh, you know what? I just realized.
My PS3 is hacked. The other PS3 is hacked. I could turn that on. I think I might have Outrun on there. I probably have a lot of stuff that's not here on there. But Afterburner is always fun. I love playing Afterburner. And you know, I feel like whenever people see it on here, like, I can't believe how good this looks. I want to go and buy this, and you can't. Are you already on the last level?
I used warps.
I know, but I'm just saying.
It took him like 3 minutes to get to World 8.
Oh.
I realized that the RGB range was wrong because we were on the WiiU. I was thinking that the colors looked a little sharp. So many years ago,
They said I'm
I did a stream on the Backloggery where I played through this entire game without using warps, and I wasn't like going for like a special run or anything. But watch that. Well, no, it didn't happen there. So I wasn't going for a special run or anything, but it just so happened that I got to this point without dying. I just hadn't died. That it was kind of like, oh my gosh, am I going to like make it through the entire game without warps, without dying? And I think it might have been this cannon right here. I was holding the B button because I always.
It's the only way to play a Mario game.
And look, you grabbable bomb.
Oh my god!
Because of the black background,
yeah.
I just didn't realize it.
Oh.
And it blew up in my face.
Oh no.
But because like I'm just like always holding the B button.
I can't. That's one thing that's different between like those people that didn't. When I find somebody who like when they play a game, like, oh yeah, I love play that, and like, how do you not run in a 2D Mario game? I genuinely don't understand. I can't play this at walking speed. I can't play without holding B.
I didn't know about running like when I first like played the game. Like I remember very, very vividly going over to someone like I was in this like, I mean you wouldn't know it given that I have zero musical talent, but I was like, you know, as a wee little kid like briefly in a program called Kinder Music, you know, some sort of music extracurricular activity for kids. Yeah. And I remember the sun of the woman who did it was a little older, and you know, I was like very impressed, like watching him play Nintendo games. And he taught me that not only that if you hold B, that you run, which I didn't know, but you could also run over single width gaps.
Right.
My mind was just blown.
I'm watching Corey's stream. God, he's right. Every time he's loaded this game before on a video or on a stream, like, this is the most amazing looking thing on that console.
It really is. Like, that, the frame rate is incredible in this game.
That is like, that console has the second worst frame rate only to the Nintendo 64 of major consoles. But Jesus, this game runs so smooth while looking great.
Yeah, I mean, it runs just as good on the 360, obviously.
But it's not. Is it still available on 360?
No, it's not available on anything.
I didn't think so. Yeah.
I mean, I bought it on everything that I could. I wish that I had bought a Steam version of it.
It was on Steam?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, that means it can be more easily acquired. I know it can be. That means other consoles too.
I'm pretty sure that it was, at least. I mean, because say like just like Knights HD was on Steam also.
Yeah, I bought that, so that I have in my library already. I might go.
Is this like, is it all pixelated for everybody? Like, I wonder if it, because I'm running at like the 1440p, I might be getting like a preferential bit rate, so it might be looking better than it normally does.
Oh.
I'm watching it in a window, but it looks really good there. But I'm at 1440p in a window.
Oh well, because I looked over at your stream a little bit ago, and it looked kind of choppy. It looked like we weren't getting a smooth ride on the stream.
Oh, yeah, that was actually my computer. There's been something special on my Firefox is being stupid lately, and I have to close and reopen it when I do long.
Yeah, I'm showing 0%
videos.
drop frames, so
It wasn't Corey's fault.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not saying drop frames from you. I'm just saying, like, I mean, my internet is not, you know, Cincinnati Bell fiber, because I am not near Cincinnati like Corey.
Now it's Alta Fiber.
Oh, I thought it was called Cincinnati Bell.
Well, they were, but then they got bought by Alta Fiber. Probably it.
No, it's looking good. I'm at full. He's not pixelating or anything. Like
I don't have a fiber option, sadly.
Running at
Not to my knowledge. Anyway.
They've been installing fiber in like all of the county I live in and the overall area lately. And it's like I live in a gated community, and through a whole bunch of old cantankerous people that I know I didn't think would ever let them dig up anything. But a few weeks ago, my roommate and I are leaving, and we're driving out, and we look, and I see a truck. And usually it's always lawn people, because you know how communities mostly run by old people. They love their yard, their lawn maintenance people. It's always big, you know, shrubberies and stuff like that being cultivated. But then I look and I see, no, this is a different truck than normal. The truck's towing a trailer with a giant orange spool on it. And we drive out the exit gate, and as Eric notices this, and we freak out, and I go back into the neighborhood. I don't even remember what we're leaving for, probably to go grocery shopping or get some food. But I go drive back into my neighborhood just to go over there, drive up. I drive by their truck and realize it says something networks on the side, like they're cablers. And I will drive over, like, you guys are installing fiber? Like, yeah. And like the biggest crap-eating grin on both of our faces as we giggling like little idiots. And however, that was probably a month ago, and we haven't seen that truck or anybody else since installing anything else. They only had dug up and installed something at the very entry to the neighborhood, and I'm at the very, very back of the community. I'm at like the oldest part of the community. I'm very sad that they're not, because all I know is like
they're not going to ever get there, or they're just not there.
There's no way that they started and won't eventually finish. I'm just sad that I know that they've started, and I haven't seen anybody in about a month. What?
This I think is the hardest level.
I thought he was like, man, you're going for some Kaizo Mario stuff. If you're gonna jump, throw the shell, jump off of it, and bounce it. I thought that's what you were doing, and I'm like, I have mad respect.
I mean, I'm decent at this game, but I'm not like a speedrunner.
Yeah, that was some serious Kaizo strats.
I don't know. Carrying shells makes me feel comfortable sometimes. For some reason, I don't know.
Because you're like me, you can't let go of the B button.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's like swimming in Super Mario World, you know, like.
Oh yeah, you got to hold something you swim for the extra speed.
I should have got rid of that boo while I was invincible.
Jeez, they're fast in this level.
I wonder if they're faster in the Japanese version.
It's like I don't remember them being that fast, but maybe I'm mistaken. I guess.
I love that the entirety of this game can be played in less than 10 minutes too.
Oh. Hey, $5.
I think this was only $4.99 when it came out too.
Holy crap! Really? Yeah. I started to check. I keep freaking ADHD. I went to log into a particular thing to see if check on the idea of AfterBurner in a certain place, and got sidetracked by video quality, and then got sidetracked by chat. Checking on chat again, which I need to check. Check.
Check.
Yep. Oh, and there was just there. Where's this? There we go. We have $2 from Josh Helmicky. Marcus flexing his speedrunner skills.
Not really. Not really. I've never really learned like speedrunner strats for like any game. Like, you know, like I feel pretty good about the fact that, you know, whenever I start a new round of Super Mario 64, you know, I tend to beat it in about, you know, 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, but that's like nothing today.
I see that Solid Unit is wondering if I played Air Twister yet. I played it on Apple TV, and it's quirky and weird, but I know that they're coming out with like a PS5 version of it. I don't know. Is that already out? I don't know if it is already out yet, but I will definitely be buying that.
Is that weird game that looks like
as like they called it on it has like you fly on the goose and stuff like that, and it's like a space harrier slash
Dragoonish?
Yes, and on the Insert Credit podcast they called it Panzer Dragoose, which I think is perfect.
Panzer Dragoose.
But I will definitely get that when it is available. I'm pretty sure it's like a physical version coming out. Like, not in the US, though. I think it's going to... Maybe it's on PlayStation. I should look.
So, I'm not finding a dump of it for a PC version.
Okay.
On a particular site that may have certain types of files on it. Where they do have it.
Yes. What signals are you sending over my internet?
Never mind that. It shows.
If you do a search for it, does it say it was released on there?
Yeah, 360, PS3, and it's showing Android. There is.
I have it on my phone. That's right. I have it on iOS. So did it not come out on Steam then?
It does not show a PC version. If it was there, it's on PC, but it's a dump of the arcade version. There was no native.
Oh yeah, you can play it like with that. What is that thing called? It's called.
You know, the arcade software that has like lots of arcade emulation in it. Not MAME, but I mean, there's another one for modern ones.
It's Techno Parrot.
Oh yes, yes.
You can play it on that.
Wait, I'm gonna take a look at what they say to me.
Oh, I see Video Game Obsession say I picked this up for $5.35 on PSN. Yeah, I mean, it was like $4.99 and then probably $5.35 like after tax.
Yep,
Amazing
Techno Parrot.
Amazing
Says, yeah, Techno Parrot arcade emulator is needed to play this.
Yeah.
So it can be played on PC, but it's not a native PC port.
Right.
But it's probably still x86 because at this point, you know, all these arcade machines anymore in the past 15 years have been Windows PCs.
Yeah.
I've walked into arcades and seen
So
like
really just Windows and not Linux or something? Like you'd think they'd be Linux.
You know, so there's like on archive.org, there's like all this Techno Parrot stuff to download, but it's like it's so many things, right? But the link to the torrent that it has like does not work. So you got to download each thing individually, and it's like,
jeez.
There's so many of them that it would just take so long to do it all. I wish that there was some way to just get it all at one time. Because knowing that I gotta go through and pick and choose, like the I don't know, like once I start doing it, it's like I gotta get them all. You know, I can't just, you know, if it's just grabbing them all, like I can't just get like a couple. Gotta get them all.
Yeah, gotta catch them all. Once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Oh, 90s advertisement.
Oh, see, Jade. Okay, I'll have to look into that.
Oh yeah, the download managers.
Smoke Monster. Do they have like the Sega Arcade Pod Racer?
Oh man,
because that game is unbelievable.
Moving the throttles for each individual and back and forth.
You can't like properly explain it, I think, to people until like you got to sit down and like sit in the machine and play it. Yeah, well, you got to feel it. It's like such a weird thing.
Well, there's one way to explain it to certain people. If you've ever used a professional quality lawnmower, you'll know how to control this game. Have you ever seen the professional lawnmowers? They have very similar. Whoa!
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, shame there.
Yeah, I thought you were dead, but no. Yeah, they have handles, and you pull back on them to like turn. Pod Racer plays a lot like driving a professional lawnmower, which doesn't sound exciting. But as much as I don't want to mow lawns, driving a professional lawnmower is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, I see people like. It never occurred to me that that's actually what it was doing, or that what it was, that it controls like that. But it makes total sense. Zero-turn lawnmowers. But yeah, I mean, I played one of those at the arcade in the Walden Galleria in Buffalo, and that's like when I worked at Electronics Boutique in that mall. And I just remember thinking it was so cool. And then Pod Racer came out on like home consoles, and I'm like, this is nowhere near as good.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not a Sega game. I mean,
no, exactly.
I've never played.
I mean, that's why I have no like fond memories of. That Pod Racer game, because I like, you know, it just like wasn't even close.
I hate the N64 Pod Racer game. A lot of people love it, but I don't like it.
I grew up playing it on PC, so I have the 64 one's a little bit rough with the frame rate, but I love the game itself. But I much prefer it with the.
It always really bothered me. There's no music during races, at least.
Yeah. I thought I heard, maybe it was just on 64. I remember there being music, but I played it on PC.
I mean, I remember putting the soundtrack. I had the Star Wars soundtracks on CD, and I played them while racing. Because the game didn't have music.
But Smoke Monster says there's also a mod to play it in VR.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I'm like, that. Oh, go in there and go for a real pod race. But I can imagine it ending very poorly for my stomach.
This is pod race.
Now, this is from VR. It sounds amazing until I pull the trigger to go sideways up through the canyons, and most icy canyons. No, I'm gonna lose my lunch.
Well, have we done it?
I think we've done it. Both beat our main games.
We've played some all-time favorites.
Like did pretty decent with our the original versions of them.
Well, I didn't do decent. I played Mario 3 instead.
Oh, it's Star Wars Battle Pod. Yes, I mean I played that.
Oh, okay.
I played that. They have that at formerly the GameWorks here, like at Newport on the Levee. But thank you to everybody who watched tonight. Everybody who's like been there and supported us over last 10 years. You know, like it's crazy that it's been, you know, we've been doing this for so long. You know, it's unbelievable. Thank you to everybody who donated tonight. Everybody went crazy with that. And you know, like you'll see us here next week. You're gonna keep on doing this as long as we possibly can. Are they like frozen? Are you guys frozen? You guys are not moving.
Huh?
Oh, you guys were frozen for a minute there.
Oh,
I was saying. I said, you know, somehow during this whole stream we didn't even talk about how there was a new video this week.
Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, there was a video that came out a few days ago, and a lot of people said, you know, hey, this almost is interesting because it's like kind of a greatest hits type thing of like things that like we've talked about in the past, as well as some new stuff. So. Anyways, we'll see everybody soon. Hope everyone has a wonderful week.
Thanks, Henry, for being here.
Yes, thank you for Henry.
Help us keep up. It made it a fun stream for us to both be able to give our full attention to our games.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great. It's a lot of fun to help out, and thanks for having me over here.
Yeah, thanks for being not just a part of the community, but also a leader in the community.
Yes,
of sorts.
And for running the game club every month.
Yeah, that one's kind of that right now is paused. So trying to figure out a way to kind of redo it a little bit.
Oh yeah,
we kind of it's kind of waning a bit, and so trying to think of a way to do it a little bit bigger and better.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes stuff like that has to take a break to come back big.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful night, wonderful week. Thanks so much.
See you next week.
Good night.
See you soon. Take care.